What's going on?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Wore out.
We're out. Well, we appreciate you joining here. Welcome, everybody. How y'all doing? Weigh in Wednesdays. We are here. We are live. We are doing our thing Wednesdays as we do. So if you haven't told somebody, tell somebody. Let them know they can join us live every Wednesday. Majority of the Wednesdays. I don't think we've had a. It's not safe to say every Wednesday currently. We've had to take a couple of hiatuses, a couple of breaks, really, just to breathe, regroup, that sort of thing. Life. But otherwise, weigh in Wednesdays. Let me find one of the links that are playing and get that shared so people can join us. Got the links out there. And as always, I will be adding the link to the chat. Putting that up. There we go. So, what's going on, man? What is going on?
Not a whole lot. Saw a few good movies over the weekend, and I will find out tomorrow for sure, but I may have sold one of these bags.
Okay, South Down Leather Works trying to get into the retail. Man, get your Etsy up. Get your Etsy up.
I know. I need to. And honestly, if that sale goes through, that could be a big boost to getting that started.
Okay.
Like I told, it's because I started my Harley Rider safety course today, and leaving class, and one of the guys in the class was like, "Man, that's a real nice bag." He's like, "What brand is it?" It's like, "Oh, that's South Down Leather Works."
Funny you should ask.
And I just started talking to him, and he was like, "Oh wow, you made that by hand?" I was like, "Yeah." And he asked how much one of those would be, and I told him, and he didn't even bat an eye. And so I'm like, kind of concerned by that, but at the same time, I'm like, that could be a big boost for me.
Be a good start, just some motivation as a reminder that it's worth it, and
Because honestly, I started it as a hobby for something for my pleasure, for me to enjoy doing. I know you have several of my hats.
I do. I do. A couple of things have been commissioned as well. I show it off frequently, but I'll show it off again because I have it handy. That is my custom Zippo. It's my lighter. I've actually just recently, well, I won't say that just in case. I don't know if it gets viewed. We don't want to throw anything out there yet. But like my dad wants to get a fanny pack. And so, a couple of things out there that can be made. I know one of our members got a hat.
Yes.
He got the like the cowboy style with the curled bill and whatnot.
Yep.
I kind of like that one. I got to show you the one that I got when I was on vacation not too long ago. Went down to Destin. I got to show you the one that I had. I ended up getting another one in Florida because my old one was old and misshapen, so I got a new one. But
and we also have another member that is on here frequently that has one this style, which you also have one that style.
I do. The newsy style. Hey, what's going on, Ty? Ty, link is in the chat. I can send you a link if you got nothing else happening. And who we got there? Russell, what's going on? Russell Parkway checking in with us. What's going on, man? Okay, let me shoot him a link real quick. Because Ty likes to hop on and talk.
Not Ty.
Ty. Wonderful, wonderful. So you said you got to watch some movies. What'd you watch? What'd you watch this weekend?
Well, I watched Army of Thieves and Army of the Dead.
All right. Went on a little Zack Snyder bender this weekend. Okay.
Yeah. And then on your suggestion, I went and watched Day Shift.
Okay.
Which that was hilarious. That was I really enjoyed that.
Russ has been up since 5 a.m. Not me. Not today. Not today.
Hey,
today
I'm right there with you, Russell.
I ain't gonna talk to y'all. I got y'all at 2:30.
All right, she been up since 2:30.
I mean, that sounds like somebody need to go to bed. I'm just saying. Can't be up like that and then be complaining about it. See, and I felt like if the week had been good to me and I'd had an opportunity, I definitely would have checked out Day Shift. The schedules just didn't align, and I was gonna watch it with the wife. So I have not seen it yet, and it's just because we've both been a bit. Oh wait, it was just there. Where is it?
Yes, I agree with you completely, Jeff. It was an amazing movie.
Well, you know what? I will allow you all to do your spoiler-free bit, and if you can discuss that without giving it away, we'll go with Jeff's first comment here. John Wick and some vampire movie had a baby. So so these vampires, are these good vampires? Are these like John Carpenter vampires? Are these
They are not Twilight vampires.
You know, y'all knocked that movie like we didn't all watch the hell out of the Twilight Saga.
Hey, this does not mean we cannot make fun of them.
We absolutely can make fun of it. Get my green thumb up when we're ready.
Which, I have a thought, but I'm not entirely sure.
So are these like
ruin anything?
27 days vampires? Or not 28 days?
There are several different types of vampires. They're not all the same.
Okay. Okay, so there's different types of vampires. That's a unique concept. Mm-hmm. So crazy, blood-hungry vampires. All right. And joining us to the stream, Mr. Whiskalodian himself. We got Ty.
I've missed you guys.
We've missed you too, buddy.
Yeah.
What's been going on?
Oh my goodness, so much. Went to my first Comic-Con dressed as, I can't even hear myself on these things. As Quailman.
Quailman. Okay, you know, for some reason, because Quailman has his underpants on the outside, the first thing came to mind was Captain Underpants. I'm like, no, wait, that's not it.
I got that quite a bit, actually. It was kind of astounding. I think I maybe had like 7 people total that actually recognized what I was.
Gotcha.
And then, granted, that was only within the first hour. My kid decided he wanted to come to the costume party. And after an hour, he goes, no, Dad, I want to go home. I'm like, bitch, this is why I didn't want to bring you.
Right. And how old is he?
4.
Yeah. He's not ready to hang yet.
No.
But it's still like, it's good to expose him early. You know what I'm saying? Get him used to it. Maybe next year he'll do a little better and, you know, want to hang out for a bit.
That's what I've been told. But I'm also like, why do I want to ruin my time to get him ready for his time?
He has a lifetime to be ready.
My dad didn't take me to cosplay or Comic-Con. I had to go myself. Bitch, right. Buy your bootstraps.
Like I ended up getting my kid to. We went to Dragon Con here in the Atlanta area.
Okay.
And I took him to his first, maybe 3 years ago, and we went down for the parade. Since it was his first time, I was like, okay, I'm not going to spend all this money trying to get in and sit in all these different stand in all these different lines, trying to go all these different booths and whatnot. We'll check out the parade. I'll let him see the cosplay and let him get exposed to it to see what it is. And then if he's like really interested and we go back, then we can like plan for the weekend and, do that sort of thing. He had a good time. He enjoyed. He liked seeing everything. I was more interested in getting pictures than he was. I was like, oh my God, come here, take a picture. So he ended up being a photographer all day. And I kept asking him, I was like, is anybody you want to get a picture for? He's like, no, I'm good. And he was just like, he's too cool for school. You know how they are. And just the whole time, I mean, he was just chilling, relaxed. But not too long ago, I actually heard him talking about going. Or he was talking about his experience having gone. And he just casually mentioned, he's on the phone with people. And he just casually mentioned, like, yeah, he wanted to go back. But I heard him even then complaining about how hot it was out there. And this is, mind you, Comic-Con's in like September. Yeah. So it's kind of weird, but it's like, he was talking about how hot it was and how everybody with their, costumes on and their cosplay, how they had to be twice as hot because they have on like, Spider-Man onesies and stuff like that. And some of these,
those are breathable as shit.
Yeah, they're super breathable. But some of these, they can get pretty hot. Now the people in like the Jedi robes, they're fine. But like the stormtroopers, because they actually had, because of the parade, that was the Saturday morning we went, and with the parade, they had, what's the regiment for stormtroopers that does all the
501st?
Yeah, the 501st. They were there, and like those guys looked like they might have been a little warm, a little toasty. We saw the guy that has the Adidas stormtrooper outfit, the red one with the white stripe.
Oh,
he was there. I think I actually, I had to go back and look, but I actually think I met and have a picture, not with, but of Cutie Pie Sensei in her Samus Zero suit, the blue Zero suit. I do have that picture.
Ooh.
So if you want to see that picture, click that QR code over there in the corner. Join our Facebook group, and if you go to like our files, I have all my Dragon Con photos uploaded, and you'll see her. She's got on the blue Samus Zero suit. So that was probably the highlight at the time. I didn't realize it was the highlight. I kind of did, but I didn't know that it was going to be the highlight. It was just a great picture. A couple of Supergirls in there. I got some really good pictures there. A lot of good cosplays on top of that. There was an awesome Nick Fury.
Well, good.
So, how did your experience go in your Quellman? What was that like?
I was dragging a 4-year-old who was cranky and moody. It was not what I was hoping. Granted, it was also a very small con. It was just a one-day affair up in Concord, North Carolina. There might have been maybe 200-300 people. But it was one of those things where it's like, man, I think I would have had more fun if I would have gone by myself. And then 2, if I would have had a sign that says, ask me about Whiskey Lodian.
Ooh.
I did want to share this. I did have a brand reach out to me, Yaya Pro. So they do a cocktail smoking kit.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, can you review this and give us a review? And I was like, I can work with that.
You say Yaya Pro?
Yaya Pro. Yeah, YAYAPRO, I believe. So turns out you're going to need a little torture in order to get the wood chip smoking for your cocktail and not just a typical candle lighter. So I got that ordered. I should get that on Friday, and then I'll be testing it out.
Nice.
Very cool. Hey, I tried to do a quick search so I could put them up here and plug them a little bit for you, but everything I see on Yaya Pro comes up as vape and vape juice.
Oh, then I might be mispronouncing.
Maybe not the right pod systems. but we'll see it when you do your review. So that is awesome, man. How many episodes now?
Yeah, Yarrow Pro. That's what it is.
Yeah, Yarrow. Gotcha. Yeah, Yarrow. That I mean, and that's yeah, Yarrow.
Yeah, YAYAROPRO. There we go.
I'm just nosy. Okay, cocktail smoker kit. There it is. There it is. Look at that. Let's take that. We'll minimize that. We'll make that one big. And close that. Boom. So you got look at you getting that sponsorship out there.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, all they're offering is to like pay for me to actually have it. But
I mean,
still, gotta start somewhere.
Geeks ain't got that yet, so I'm loving it, man. Congrats. That's awesome.
Thank
And that's
you.
and given that you have like on the show, you do custom drinks every episode.
Yeah.
Now, are the drinks? I feel like I'm interviewing you right now, but are the drinks actually themed to the show?
Yes.
Or do you just like kind of like spin a dial and decide what you're going to make tonight?
So for the most part, if I'm doing a cocktail, I try to make it themed, or I just try to make it delicious. Sometimes we just do a whiskey just on the rocks, and we talk about that. So this last one that we did, I'm trying to remember. We had Harriet the Spy.
Okay.
And we did the cocktail, the Witty Comeback. And we also had that because my wife was on, and she was being a librarian and quick with the witty comebacks. That was what inspired it.
Okay.
For the one we're recording on Sunday, we're covering the Mystery Files of Shelby Woo and Animorphs.
Animorphs.
Yes. So because we're going with that little mystery theme, I'm actually using this, and I'm going to be using a particular wood, and my co-host is going to figure out which wood it is. Like, he's going to figure out what the mystery of the wood is.
Okay.
Into the cocktail. So it's going to be a smoked.
I like that. That's a whole meta entanglement of the sponsorship with the pot. Love it. That's awesome.
So that's going to be a smoked old fashioned.
No, I did not realize or even pay attention that all of my little tabs and favorites are right there on that bar. Fortunately, that's the good browser. I don't have anything on that. That's the safe browser. That is actually a Brave browser. So if anybody's familiar with, like they have DuckDuckGo and all these different browsers you can get, that's Brave browser. I like it. I get little points for like browsing, and I can redeem those points for what I don't know, but I've been checking it out. And you know what? If this old-fashioned smoker is really good, you might even like be able to. You know what? Here's the important part. Do I get a 25% discount with your code?
Ooh, I want to see if they'll give me a code. Yeah,
because I will say, like, just seeing that, I will watch. I mean, I watch a lot of the episodes anyway, but I would check that one out to see the smoker. So you're going to have to do a video episode for that one.
So yes and no. I do plan on actually making a video episode. We're going to start with how to make clear ice. We're going to have the host of Jedi Talks on to talk about rocket power. But then he was like, yo, we need to get your ice game up. So we're going to do a separate video just on how to make clear ice. And then I will try and make a video on the smoker kit.
See, I get like half clear. It's so weird.
Same.
So I have my whiskey balls and whatnot, and when I fill them up, I've started filling them with just like regular tap water to see how that worked. And one of them, beautiful. It was perfect. The other one, it was like the bottom half. When I went to get it out of the casing, because it's a plastic housing, not a silicone housing.
Yeah.
I went to get it out of the casing. The bottom half was perfectly clear, but the top half that has the cap, that side was a little foggy, a little cloudy. I was like, okay. And so I recently got some molds. These are silicone molds.
Yeah.
I'm going to try those and see how they work out.
So I also have silicone molds. Apparently, And that's very interesting that you were talking about how the top half that was not clear, because usually that the impurities kind of rise to the or sink to the bottom. So they actually have some silicone molds where the water on the bottom you just kind of discard, but the water on top is what is super clear.
Mm.
So, but this guy has another technique using something. I gotta remember what he used.
Okay, well, I definitely want to check that out. So let me definitely like post the video when it drops. Let us know about the video because I want to see that. Other plugs here for everybody because we started out with. It's funny because I'm doing this because I'm looking at it, but you're actually over there that way. But started out with Southdown Leatherworks. I got it. Southdown Leatherworks. If Jeff ever decides that he's gonna like do his what do you call it, the colorful glass stuff,
Stained glass.
Thank you. Jeff is working on stained glass, so I'm gonna see if he decides to move forward with that. If nothing else, I'm gonna get me some custom pieces. I gotta have me a Superman stained glass frame. I'm good with that. And we've now made it around to Whiskalodian. So also, just because it's important, Russell, he's our author. And if things go as well as we hope, he will be visiting Georgia next year for a book tour. So let me just say, congratulations, sir. Kudos for that. That is awesome. I hope that works out. And you end up, and if you do make it to Georgia, when you make it to Georgia, you'll be somewhere in Atlanta, I'm sure. Just give me advance notice. I'll come down with a Grown A Geek shirt, and we'll make sure to do a live on the spot for you and see if we can't get some people out. So, major kudos on that. No, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So they were talking about day shift. Let's get back into this day shift because I didn't get a chance to see it. So don't spoil it. But let's talk about it because it looks like it's going to be a really good movie. And, Dave Franco is not James Franco. So he is not tainted. And, I think I'm not going to say that James Franco is in a very specific category of movies, but I can't picture him outside of those movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a hard time seeing Seth Rogen in anything else until Seth Rogen did something else. Same with who's the other guy? Michael Cera fell into that. Actually, like that whole little group. Anybody who was in This Is the End. Yeah, like anybody who was in This Is the End, I kind of feel like until they went and did something else, they were kind of stuck. And James Franco never really seemed to jump past that, in my opinion anyway. I didn't see 127 hours. I don't know that I could just sit and watch James Franco on screen for that long. I don't know that I could. And then, of course, everything that's come out since then, don't know when we'll see him again. Because if Seth Rogen is like distancing himself from you, but Seth is like doing a lot of big things and making some money. Like he's one of the producers on Invincible, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he's a voice. He's Alan the
Alien. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm so like thrilled that happened, and I'm just waiting for Alan to actually laugh. I need Seth Rogen's laugh.
Did you see the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie?
I did.
Seth was in that, and that was amazing.
Yes. I was surprised how well those voices worked for Chip and Dale.
Right? Oh my goodness.
At Andy Sandberg and John Mulaney. John Mulaney. Like Mulaney.
Yes.
That's it. I love his stand-up. He's hilarious. He's a funny guy. He's a really funny guy.
Did you see Andy Samberg's roast Ooh, who was he roasting? Was it James Franco? I think he was roasting.
How long ago was that?
This was probably about 5-6 years ago, but it
Okay.
was amazing. Like, because Eddie Sandberg, he played it like the clean comic.
Mhm.
He goes, "We're here with the father, roasted the father," and just that quirkiness. I loved it. I loved it.
My first movie with him, Hot Rod.
Yep.
Classic.
I think that was his first movie.
Hilarious to this day.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, one of my favorite shows.
Going through the final season right now with the wife. That is our sit down for dinner TV show.
That's how I know you guys are gonna make it.
Right. Like that's what we sit down, we watch. And so I really know that she's committed and all in and not going anywhere if she sits through The Office with me.
Okay.
She has not seen The Office, and I'm not sure if I want to do Parks and Rec first, Community, or The Office. I'm like, one of these three. I'm like, what was that? What did Pam say?
The Office.
Okay.
I'm gonna disagree. I want to say Parks and Rec, and only because The Office really delves into cringe comedy, and I feel like having Parks and Rec first will kind of ease into that. We're like, oh, I can still enjoy this. Whereas if you just toss them in the deep end, she might not make it.
Right. Yeah, because Michael Scott that's a bit much to jump right to Michael Scott, especially coming off Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, I feel like Parks and Rec is going to be nice because it's Michael Schur. Michael Schur did Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Parks and Rec is also a head writer for The Office. So kind of working your way back and be like, okay, cool.
And see, I think honestly, that's where I almost feel like we would even be okay to incorporate a little bit of Community in there. With Community not being as long, get through that one faster, and then jump over to Parks and Rec, and maybe then just settle off with The Office. But it's also going to be about which one is on which streaming service and who I have to pay for. If I've got to add one, I'm going to hold off on that. But we have most of them, and I have to see.
I'd also highly recommend The Good Place.
Ooh. But see, I don't know if I could get her to watch The Good Place because I started it and I was enjoying it, and I'm like a season in. I could start that over though. I'm not so far. I could start that over.
Okay.
Yeah, I can start that over.
And honestly, the first season is good enough. You can watch that again and still enjoy it.
I mean, it's Kristen Bell. I could watch it because you ain't got to twist my arm to watch anything with Kristen Bell. I like Kristen Bell. I like her.
Same.
So all of that somehow was supposed to relate to Dave Franco. And I don't even know what my segue is on that one. But so Dave Franco, Jamie Foxx, apparently from some of the reviews that I've heard and whatnot about it, they say that they have really, really good chemistry. And Jeff pointed out that Snoop Dogg and Jamie actually have really good chemistry.
Oh,
and a lot of people you can't name a bunch of things that Snoop Dogg has been in, but he's actually really good on camera.
I can see that.
Like most people Snoop Dogg was in Scary Movie 4, I think it was, and had one of the funnier segments. I can pull up his IMDb here to the side, but he's actually done, he's good at hosting, obviously. Because he had that whole show with Martha Stewart and Snoop and Martha, and it's like that oil and vinegar combination right there. You know what I'm saying? It's the odd couple, and that's what made that show work so well. But then people don't realize that, Martha Stewart's actually a really down to earth kind of person. She just talks weird. You know what I'm saying? So
I've never heard someone talk about how she talks weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she's clearly the most, she's one of the most mimicked individuals when it comes to any white comedian female that does voices. She's gonna be in that repertoire. That's gonna be one of the voices she does. Her, Jennifer Coolidge, there's Barbara Streisand. Those are the voices they do.
Okay.
But that's what makes it come to mind. It's funny how many credits he actually has as an actor. And I'm like, bro, he wasn't in that much stuff. But surprisingly enough, a lot of it is like music video. And I'm like, do they really give credit for that? Like, I guess they do. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and go through 270. Scary Movie 5. That was it.
Okay.
Scary Movie 5 he was in. I know he's been on, Black Dynamite. I know he was on that.
Oh shit, you're right.
There was see, all that's music video. Anything recent? Dolomite Is My Name. No,
Yeah, Dolomite's what I was thinking of.
Right. Let me see. What is this one? 2019. Okay, that was the animated one. The Addams Family from 2019. He was the voice of Cousin It.
Okay.
But I'm like, it doesn't talk. Me. Like, he did. Wow. That's funny.
But at the same time, I can see Snoop doing that and being funny doing it.
Possibly. But I mean, it's one of those things where like he's actually like really comfortable being behind the camera. He's, and I think he does a lot better than people expect a lot of times. So to see him in a full role like this, to actually be in the movie, doesn't really shock me.
Yeah, because I want to say that's like the first time that I remember seeing him playing an actual role, not just being a cameo.
Right. And in most cases, that's kind of what it is. Like if he's there, he may have lines and he's got a scene, but it's like, okay, he's in Half Baked back with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. But
obviously he's one of the smokers.
Yeah, because he's with what's his face from Full House.
Yes. I had it till you said that.
Why am I spacing on his name?
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Thank
Yes.
You. That's the scene he has there, and so it's like, but that was kind of one of those things, and that's really what you expect from him. Those kind of like pop in cameos. But I can't think of a movie where there was Baby Boy. He had more lines in Baby Boy and in Training Day. Those are the two movies I can think of where I know he had like more than one scene. You know what I'm saying? Where he was like in the movie and was shown more than once. And then after that, it's like it's bit pieces here and there. He's been on a lot of talk shows. He's been on a lot of TV shows. He's hosted a few things. So he's clearly comfortable behind the camera, but I wouldn't go as far as to say like, he's not been a leading man yet. You know what I'm saying? No Ice Cube, no Ice-T, where he's dipped his toe into the acting pool, but he hasn't made the transition to actor.
I ain't gonna lie, but if I smoked as much weed as that man does, I would probably be comfortable anywhere myself.
Honestly, it's like every time we've seen Willie Nelson on camera, he looked really comfortable.
Oh yeah.
He always seemed to be just kind of go with the flow. And I remember Willie Nelson's cameo. Well, one of his cameos was in the Austin Powers. They're doing the little segment, probably one of the best segments in comedy, where they are the double entendre comedy, where scene where they're like the rocket ship.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, look at that. It looks like a bunch of melons. Get your melons here. Oh my God, what's that? It looks like somebody's fishing tackle. Get your fishing tackle and rods right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just the way that segment went, that has to be one of the most intelligent scenes in comedy. And Willie Nelson was a part of that, and I remember that. So, like he looked very, very, very comfortable. So it's good to see, having actors like Snoop and Jamie Foxx. I'm sure Jamie Foxx made it easy to be on set. There's probably 1,001 takes because Jamie's a goofball, and whenever you see his behind the scenes, he's always playing. It's more surprising the action. All right, Russell, have a good one, man. We appreciate you stopping by. Russell must retire for the evening.
He's been up since 5.
He has been up since 5. I did not get up today until my alarm went off at 6. It was like 6:45. I got up, turned that alarm off. My phone decided to do a software update, and it did not go off again until I just naturally got out of bed. Because it's really weird. So, sorry, weird side note. I have a Samsung Note 20 Ultra or Note 20 Plus Ultra, whichever one. I have the biggest Note they make. And when my phone turns off, like say the battery dies, I put it on charger and I turn it back on. Just turning my phone on does not turn my phone on. It has power, but until you unlock it and it starts up, imagine your computer. If your computer lost power and it died, it's going to sit at the home screen. When it boots back up, it's going to be just at the home screen. You have to log back in before anything on your desktop repopulates.
I understand what you're saying. I'm questioning why.
Honestly, my S21 does the same thing.
Y'all need to get on that Google Pixel train, man. I don't have that issue.
I've really been debating, but I mean everything else. I do so much with Google now.
I do, Google Pixel. Oh, sorry, you're talking about something else.
Yeah, no, I mean it's I do so much because my whole house smart wired, and you know what I'm saying. I have Google Home devices, Google Nest, smart bulbs, my doorbell, my security camera, all of it. Everything runs through Google.
Damn, so, you're right there.
Right. It's all I need to do is just go ahead and get the Pixel. But it's so funny because my Samsung phone, because it's Android powered and runs on Google, everything kind of comes through now. Even my watch. And it's I'm just waiting, and I'm sure that the next one will do it, but I'm waiting to be able to give a command to my watch and turn on a light.
That'll be nice.
Just to be able to do that, just because.
You would be more like Batman than most people around. That light, turn off.
And the thing is, when you say, I could probably do that through Bixby, but I don't like Bixby.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
And so if Google just sticks with it and they decide to, because Bixby, I think, is Samsung. And they have the HEY Google, because if I say it, shit starts going off. So I can't actually say that phrase. It's always funny whenever I have to try to explain to people how it works. I'm yeah, if I say this, and they give a command, not realize that command is going to take place because I just said it and my phone heard it. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that'll probably be the next one. I'll give it a shot anyway. I'll go and try one. Since this was paid off, I've got a free upgrade just sitting there waiting and available. But we'll check it out at some point.
At some point.
I don't know. I would probably if I lived in this world that Jamie Foxx and Snoop and Dave Franco lived in, I would probably have the solar lights set up. What type? So these vampires that I was asking about in Day
Shift.
Day Shift. I was about to call it Day Watch. I'm that's not right. Daybreak. That doesn't seem right either. So in Day Shift, the movie doesn't seem like it's a dark movie. So it looks like a lot of this takes place during the day.
Yes.
So is this not like sunlight kills these vampires?
Without ruining anything,
Okay.
some of them cannot go outside.
Okay. Okay. And that's fair because there are, in different facets of media, there are vampires that are affected by sunlight. There are some that are not affected by sunlight. Oddly enough, I went back and rewatched season 4 of Castlevania because I originally had not finished it and I didn't remember where I was or what was going on. So I just started over on season 4. I think I was only on like episode 3 anyway. So I started over on season 4 of Castlevania. And I feel like it's been out for a while, but spoiler warning. Yeah, the one vampire sister that's like the warmonger.
With her battle armor.
Right. She's like, get in the trunk. She puts on this armor and then she goes out, sunlight and all, and she's like telling the other vampires, like, just cover your skin, put your armor on, and let's fight. And thinking about it, it's like, you know what? It's not like looking at the sunlight. It's literally physically the contact with the rays. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, and when you think about like Blade and the way Blade handled vampires, the UV lights, it had the same effect. So if it's literally about the UV rays, then as long as they have on like polarized glasses, they cover their skin, being in the sunlight is just a matter of like you being tired. But if you feed properly, the way these, especially like in Castlevania, where these vampires like have pictures of blood that they, that's a whole other set of vampires right there. But when you think about, even I want to say it was Wes Craven's vampires, those vampires were like able to exist during the day.
Going back, even in Castlevania, Striga was on a league of her own. That battle scene, that armor. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite scenes. That
falls second. Let's see. Technically, since there are 2 battles in the final act, two major battles take place in the final act. It is Alucard and Greta.
Okay.
Holding the castle.
Mm-hmm.
You have that sequence. I count that as one battle.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then when Belmont and Straya, the wizard that was with Belmont. God, what is her name? I feel like it's Straya.
I think so. We'll see.
It's something weird like that. But when she gets there and they come to Belmont's aid, they come to Alucard's aid, that's a whole other battle. That's battle like final battle 1A and 1B. Sypha. Yes. So that's battle 1A and 1B. Belmont versus Death. That's a battle all by itself.
Yes, agreed. And we can't leave out Isaac against Carmella.
I would still put that under the battle Striga had with the farmers.
Really?
Just slightly below it because, see, now both of those battles have something weird that's happening. Striga even calls out when she talks about it, she's like, I was fighting farmers. I wasn't fighting warriors. And she literally is like, that was a joke. That was a one-sided battle.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
It was a glorious one-sided battle.
It was a glorious one-sided battle. All I can think to myself is she looks like Nightmare from Soul Calibur.
Yes.
That was what I was picturing. But she makes that claim there. Whereas Carmilla was holding her ground, dude. And because of that, I can't give Isaac as much props as I want to.
It's not about who's the better fighter. Just
No.
whole sequence was.
And I get that. I do get that. The animation for that sequence, this is like where they spent their budget. And I'm glad that that's where they chose to spend their budget on Castlevania. If you haven't watched it, season 4 was amazing. And that was a really good ending. If they stop there, I'm okay with it. But if they give me a season 5, bring it on. I'm ready.
They're not giving a season 5, but they are doing a sequel series. Well, basically, the child of Belmont and Sypha is Trevor Belmont.
That's what, you know what? I actually knew that, and now that makes absolute sense. Now that I've actually finished the series, that makes absolute sense that that's what that is. Damn. That's awesome. I'm glad, but you know what?
Say it. Say it with your chest.
I wonder how they're going to go with Lisa and Vlad. There's no way. Let's see. Lisa would not be dead. Like, you let Trevor grow up, give him 20, 25 years. Lisa's just an old woman.
Yeah.
Absolutely still in the series. You can't do it. I mean, Alucard won't age. Vlad won't age. Lisa will be the only one that ages. And if Trevor ages...
Belmont and Sypha.
Right, I mean, they'll age.
Trevor's parents, yeah.
They could even, like, not really age out, but they could age up. Because even if you give them 20 years, you're putting them maybe 50s, 60s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he could still be healthy and able to fight. Let Trevor take point, but he's still there and can do what he does. That would work out so well. But I'm just like, I liked the way they ended on that note, leaving not quite the mystery, but just drifting off.
Leaving it open enough.
Exactly. That's the key word. Leaving it open for Lisa and Vlad to go and whatever. Travel, go to the little town in
England.
Yeah, go to the little town in England. Cool. And it's funny because I'm looking at that. I'm like, wait, is that the same town that Bram Stoker's took place in?
Ooh.
Are they setting up?
Check that.
Are they setting up some lore for the future kind of thing?
Now, what I'm curious about, because apparently, from what I understand, the creator of the series is not going to be in this next sequel project. So I'm curious who they're going to bring on to lead that, to help that.
I don't know. I think like once you get like 4 seasons in,
you need a new voice. Absolutely.
Well, and not even a new voice. I think what happens is the characters take on such a life of their own that something like that's usually when you start seeing the actor become an executive producer. Because he's played that character for so long, or she's played that character for so long, that they now understand and they can kind of write for the character. Well, this person would do that. They wouldn't do that. Because they embody who that character is as they've been that character for that long.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Here's a hell of a segue. It's not the same situation. I pride myself on being able to like bring everything back full circle. It's not the same situation you have where you take an actor like Jamie Foxx when he plays someone like Ray Charles, you have the story there and it's just a matter of fitting into the mold. When you have the people who have done the voices for these characters for a while, they've put in their inflection of what that character is and who that character is. That allows them to kind of tell you what the next stories are. Now that we're going into essentially a spinoff,
yeah,
you don't necessarily need, and the only reason you would need the original director, creator, etc., is if you choose to incorporate specific elements because the story is there. If you need vision for how King Isaac moves forward, if you need vision for what Hector's doing now, then you could almost rely on those voice actors to flesh out how they moved forward. You don't have to rely on the story is already set and it's already moving in a direction.
It is. I don't think you need the creator to create the story. I think you need the creator to lead. Because what will happen is you'll have the creator get a bunch of writers and they'll flesh out the whole story. And they might take advice from the voice actors, but for the most part, you have your team of writers following those arcs, and they split it off to tell each episode to call a fall into that arc.
Right.
So,
but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to tell a new story, your team of writers,
they're going to know the story more than the voice actors. Voice actors might be like, I think he would act like this in this scenario. But as far as story-wise, I would go with the writers.
But that's why you don't necessarily have to have the creator. If
you still need that leader. You need someone to tie it all together. Because it's like, think about this.
You take any one of the executive producers. Like, I'm trying to think of a series or a show.
You wouldn't need the executive producer. You would need a showrunner. You need someone to kind of tie it all together.
See, this is how geek we're about to be, because I'm about to use Star Wars as the example. First, let me ask you this. Dave, have you watched Castlevania?
No.
Okay. Netflix, Castlevania. Surprisingly, nothing we've said has ruined that series.
Well, I mean,
amazing series. So if you get an opportunity, check that
hold
out.
on. Like,
what up?
I'm one of those people that grew up playing Castlevania.
True.
This pays a lot of homage to the games,
and it does.
It
does.
Like, you could tell me beginning to end the entire story, and it wouldn't ruin it because I probably either played through that or inferred that from what I've played.
Yes, regardless, you need to watch it because it
is still worth the watch. It is still worth the watch because we're big proponents of anime here, and we love.
I need to get into more anime. I really
and I'm working on that.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, Arcane. Arcane's phenomenal, and it's based off of League of Legends.
Ooh.
Oh, you haven't seen that yet?
Oh no, I've watched the hell out of Arcane.
Okay,
but I was looking at the comment here, a prequel to Symphony of the Night. Ooh.
That would be amazing.
No. If they're doing the series now, if the new series that's coming out is going to be on Trevor Belmont, technically, if it's Trevor Belmont, the son, yeah, I think that actually would be.
That really great base for the story, yeah.
That would be leading up to Symphony of the Night. Because Symphony of the Night features, but see, then the question though is, does that pit? Because even in Symphony of the Night, you still, like in Symphony of the Night, you have a whole section where you play as Alucard, and you're still trying to take down Dracula. That would probably be the only change, because unless Dracula comes back to power.
I mean, he has his power. Here's how they get him
back to like, as far as going back to the castle and
being back to the main villain.
Right. Because technically, he would no longer be the main villain. Like, the way they ended this series, I think they did such a fantastic job, because they dotted all the I's, they crossed all the T's, they wrapped it up. Oh, by the way, what's going on, Richard? That comment came from one of our members, Richard Owens. What's going on, man? I just had to throw that out there because it's like I see new faces and I love it. Yay, new faces. But that, with him not being in power at the time, you would have to figure out a way to create him. Like, something would have to lead to him coming back to being the main villain. You can't take out Alucard, because if we're getting the Symphony of the Night, he's got to be in it.
Yeah.
And you still have to figure out a way to put Vlad's back in power to be the main villain and still be opposition to Alucard.
There could be a couple ways they can go about that. They could go with someone trying to steal Vlad's power. As well, if you're not using it, I will. They could go with. I don't want to say that they could kill Lisa again. That just seems like they would just do it. But there's a couple ways. They could either cross Dracula in a way that he's like, all right, well, bitch, I try to step away, but apparently this is the life that's in my life.
Right.
But I think a more compelling would be someone trying to steal that power. So it wouldn't be Dracula himself that they're having to fight. It's someone trying to utilize his power for their own personal gain.
Yeah. Especially if it's a situation where he is living this nice, quiet life.
Yeah.
And anything comes through to interrupt that, I could see that being valid motivation.
But we've had that.
Let's see.
That's literally what.
I mean, that's literally what this show was about. No, I get that. That.
So I'd hate for them to rehash that same story just with new people.
But see, if you do it differently, and this time Lisa's maybe not dead. Like you said, if they come in to take the power, like almost let him be not necessarily the hero, but an anti-hero, where although he is not the main villain, he doesn't want anyone else to be the main villain. It still puts him at odds with the other vampires, the people trying to take power. And by default, just being alive, that'll put him at odds with Belmont and Alucard.
Yeah.
So the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but you're still Dracula and you got to go.
So you're basically saying they need to do Let There Be Carnage. The video game and the comic, not the movie.
You could go about it that way. Is that would give you at least justification for having him there, a reason or a motive for him to be involved.
Yeah,
because like the two slave twins that Alucard brought in, they were trying to, like Sarah and Tavi or something weird like that. They were trying to find out, like they wanted to have this great kingdom and they wanted to be these great hunters, and they kept saying like, can the castle move? Can the castle move? Can the castle move? And they didn't believe him when he said that the castle won't move anymore. So if you find an opponent big enough, like if there's someone strong enough to oppose Alucard and maybe put him out of his castle, Dracula can't have nobody messing with that castle. They're trying to get it to, let's say they figure out how to get it to move again. I mean, that would kind of undo everything that Cypher did, and we can't,
That's the thing. You're trying to tell us without undoing or rehashing what's already been told. So
I'm just really trying to figure out how they can get around to Symphony of the Night. And maybe I need to like refresh my Castlevania Symphony of the Night knowledge, because I'm trying to Symphony. Of course, it's trying to give me Cypher. Nope, I want Symphony. Now it wants to give me the name when I was looking for it. Let's see. See, like this whole... See, that's the thing. The whole story on this... Okay, Rondo of Blood. Richter Belmont. Richter goes missing. Castle appears. Alucard arrives at the castle.
So maybe Alucard is actually visiting the Belmonts, and when he comes back, someone has stolen his castle.
There you go. There you go. That could work. I have to like just figure out real quick as okay, Trevor Belmont. You know what? I'll do that later. It's like I have to just figure out real quick who this Trevor guy. Like I have to remember Trevor.
Hold on, we're getting things confused. Trevor Belmont was the main person in this series.
Right, because when he was talking about it, he was saying he didn't want her to name. He didn't want her to use the name Trevor.
They're
an F.
The next one's gonna have Richter Belmont.
Okay, and I guess that's why I was confused. I was like, wait a minute, because the whole story of Symphony of the Night was all based around Alucard, and Trevor.
Yeah, it's Castlevania Nocturne.
Nocturne. Okay. Well, I'm gonna check that out because more Castlevania is a good thing, and if they continue on, I'll stick with it. Even if it doesn't have the series creator, if they keep the same team who's been working on it, maybe somebody else can step in, and continue going down that path. And I would be good with it.
Hold on. Apparently, Castlevania Nocturne, which takes place long after the fourth season of Castlevania, follows Richter, the great grandson of Trevor Belmont and Sypha Belnatis. So this is like in the future.
I was about to say that sounds like some modern day type thing. Because just looking at the time period of the Netflix Castlevania show, that's too many greats to not be past tomorrow. Like,
yeah, you're looking at least each grade would be at least 30 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Holy shit. 360 years into the future. So if we're thinking that during that time would have been, I wouldn't even say the Dark Ages. I would at least give that. This would probably be closer to the Renaissance, maybe the 1700s.
See, I was thinking right at the 1800s, so yeah, we can go with that, which would honestly only put that modern day.
A little bit past.
If we're talking 300 years after the 1800s, we're talking...
Oh, no, you're... Okay. No, I'm thinking the original Castlevania was like 1400. Like, the church... Like, it wasn't like the Renaissance. This was before that. So this is closer to the Dark Ages, where it's like you have, like, the people who have, like, Christian, and they have a little bit of power, but really everyone's very tribal, nomadic. You don't really have a lot of great civilizations except among the vampires.
Right.
So I'm thinking that with Richter, that's going to be 1700s. That's going to be very much
that'll be 1700, 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the time of the Enlightenment.
Yeah, I mean, if it moves 300 years in the future, because the first one was 1450s, 1460s.
Okay.
Because everything they talk about in Wallachia happened in like 1450.
Okay,
like that.
then yeah, you look at late 1700s, early 1800s.
Okay. Dave, 1800s weapons. What type of upgrades are we going to see the Belmont family have?
Crossbows.
Okay.
They have crossbows. It's going to be more so like
all I can recall seeing were archers.
Like,
okay.
I don't think you would be at the gunpowder era yet.
I mean,
like,
the 1800s they had gunpowder,
but not to the point of like pistols. Maybe cannons.
Wouldn't be like 6 flintlocks on my chest.
Let's see.
I was about to say, let's check that out. Let's see, when did the flintlock pistol? Actually, you know what? Just because I can. Hey, Google, when did the flintlock pistol get invented?
On the website pbs.org, they say 1630, the first true flintlock. Do you want a little more context?
1630 was the first flintlock pistol.
All right, so
We would have flintlock pistols, but by the 1800s, you could have a couple of small ones. You could pull a whole like.
Hey
badass
Google,
iron-
please stop.
Yeah, thank you. Hey Google,
Do you want a little
cancel.
more context?
No.
Really? No. Cancel.
Bitch, do you hear me talking?
Right. Like Google be like, I'm gonna finish my thought. I'm gonna say
As
what
I
had
was
to
saying
say.
before, I was really
Rudely
interrupted.
Right. But you know what's really funny about the Google system? So my wife and daughter, because they're just such sweethearts and they're such just beautiful, beautiful people. Whenever my wife talks, I go into the kitchen and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Set an alarm for 10 minutes. Set timer for 15 minutes. Because I'll be in there cooking, put some in the oven, that kind of thing, right? 15 minutes, the alarm goes off. And I'm like, stop. Because that's all you have to say. Once the alarm is going off, you only have to give the command stop for it to stop. Meanwhile, my wife is over here like, can you please stop the alarm? I'm like, baby, just say stop. And it's like, I don't think that Google understands her command sometimes because she uses too many words because she's so polite. Instead of just saying like, and I'll use this for example. Hey Google, look for the little light, set office to 50%. And then that light.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Bitch, I wasn't talking to you.
Well, see, that's because I put that delay in it. But if I say, hey Google, set office to 50%, you just say the command, it does the command and it goes through. But if I say something like, hey Google, could you please set the office brightness to 50% for me, please? Google's like, what? What do you want?
Too fast.
Right. And you're saying too much, you're giving too many words, too many commands. So it's like, you got to keep it simple, got to simplify. It's not an actual AI yet. I'm waiting for it to be an AI. And then I can name it something other than Google. And that's what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, quick question. What would you name your AI Google?
Obviously. Jarvis. Of course. Of course.
Come on.
Okay.
Hack Smith already has.
I figured with you, it'd be like, hey, Jarrell, can you please set the lights to 50%?
And I thought about that. No, seriously, I thought about that. But outside of Man of Steel, trying to find something canonically, everything has just been computer. There was no system name. He has the actual, like in some of the one-offs, he has like the robots that like in All-Star Superman, he has a couple of the like super sophisticated robots and things like that. Man of Steel was the only time where he was able to control anything by speaking. Well, not only time, because Man of Steel did that and Smallville did that.
I was going to say
Smallville. Right. Smallville did that, where he would go in and he would talk with Jor-El and things would happen as a result because that AI projection came out as Jor-El. But in the comics, there wasn't anything. You know what I'm saying? There was because it's like Batman has a supercomputer, but he can't talk to it. It's just computer. And every time they've like shown anything animated where the computer does do something, he just says computer. Jarvis is the only thing that's technically written in as an AI and has a name as a result. So
there's Friday.
That was a secondary program that came later, but yes.
There's Baymax.
Baymax is a physical manifestation as it's an actual robot.
True, but he is in fact computer. And then there's who was supposed to be the bride of Ultron? Was that Callista? What was her name? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm familiar with it because he actually creates that. And she's got like the little hooks that come down like that look like hair in the comics.
Yeah, she's got that Twilight look to her.
It may be Callisto. I know I would know the character if I had like a multiple choice. I would get it right. When you do those quizzes like test your Marvel knowledge, how many characters can you name? You give me the character and the names, I'll be like, oh, I can match this up, no problem. But you put me on the spot and ask me like,
Joe
who was that
Costa,
character?
that's who it is.
Was that
Joe Costa?
Joe Costa? Okay.
And then the only other option I would consider would be from the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Now, definitely want to leave it open. What about you? What would you name your Google?
Or would you just get an Alexa and not name it?
Yeah, I don't want none of that.
Okay.
Nothing wrong
I ain't
with
gonna
that.
lie. Like, I don't even have Google on my phone.
No worries.
And I will say, I always think it's interesting when there are times when I am just about the house and I say something and one of my many speakers will respond and start talking to me and I have to just like cancel or stop listening or something like that. And it's funny how people are always so quick to be like, oh, they're selling your data. They're listening to your conversations. I don't be saying shit that I'm worried about anybody hearing personally.
Well, I'm sorry, but when we were having a conversation at work, and this is what got me to the point where I'm like, all right, this thing listens to me too damn much. I got to get rid of it. I'm at work. We're talking about a completely random oddball thing.
Right.
I go, and I've got my watch on. My phone is nowhere near me. I go to my phone to look something else up to answer a completely separate question. The first thing that pops up is the oddball obscure thing we were talking about. And the second thing is the answer to the question I was fixing to go look up.
Yeah. No,
So-
I'm 100% aware of the advertisement. And I even signed, I clicked OK for custom advertisement. Yes.
I'm going to give a counterpoint to that, to your argument, because you're like, oh no, they're listening to me. I was in a fight with a woman who was telling me you don't have to season your breading when you're frying food. Like if you season your food, that's enough. I'm like, no. You get bland breading. You gotta season both. Both is what's good. So I had this fight with her, and she's telling me, no, you don't have to. And then Google sends me an article like, hey, I think you'd be interested in this article. Why it's important to season your breading. And I was like, bitch, here's the reason why. Google helped me win an argument. Google keep giving me help.
Hey, and I get that, and that's fine. Me personally, I'm like, no, that is my phone is thinking too damn much.
It's called a smartphone. It needs to be smarter. It needs to get to the point where it's like, hey, I know you're drunk and you want to call your ex. I ordered you a pizza instead. You're so smart. Oh, you're so smart.
No, you know what? I want little things to happen. And honestly, these are the type of algorithms that take place. And this is the type of things that AI is going to do for us in the future. So first of all, everybody that's worried about their phone listening to them and everything like that, don't worry. Your search engine, the fact that you have either an Android or an Apple, all of that information is already available. If you figured out what your Facebook rap name was going to be, you've already given them enough information to start tracking. They've already looked at everything you've liked, all of the posts that you've put up, everybody you follow, how long you stayed on this picture versus that picture. If you scroll back to look at that, all of those algorithms are already looked at, tracked, and being sold and distributed. Now, let me get ahead of the game and zero in on the shit that I actually want to know about. This is how Grown A Geeks is how I fixed my Facebook algorithm. Hey, Leanne, what's going on, darling? Grown A Geeks is how I fixed my Facebook algorithm. Okay? I went through and I started deleting all of the things that I had previously liked. Just deleted them. And I went through and I carefully, meticulously picked the things that I was going to like. And by doing that, I was able to zero in and say, these are the things that I want you to show me. Here were 500 things that I'd liked previously. Let's get that down to 50 things that I like. Only tell me about these things, right? But the problem is a friend of mine posts something and I want to see what they had to say about that thing. They posted something political and I took 10 minutes to read what they posted. Well, guess what? Now they think I'm interested in politics. Nope, no, I'm not. So I got to go back in, I got to clean my history and take that one thing out to fix my algorithm back. Or that one time I read that one thing by that one friend, they're going to look at how much I interact with that friend and they're going to show me all their posts anyway. I got like 1,200 friends on Facebook. I see 30 people because those are 30 people I kind of care about because they post shit that I'm actually going to read, that I'm interested in. I'm not one of those people who's fake, and I'm not going to like send you the HBD on your birthday on Facebook because we haven't talked in 3 years, but every year you get a happy birthday from me. No, I'm not going to do that because that's fake as hell. I don't like being fake like that. And if that's the only time I'm going to hear from you, I'm going to get a reminder every year that this was the post from last year, and I'm going to recreate that post and have to do it again next year. Let's not do that. If I know you and your birthday is of any concern to me, you will get a text, you will get a phone call, you will get a post on your wall, you'll get an instant message, you will get some sort of notification from me directly. And that's not going to fuck up my algorithm because it won't be that one day a year where you're in my memories and I'm trying to remember.
I might have already fucked up my algorithm because there was a point where you could actually look up how Facebook was marketing to you.
Mm-hmm.
It was marketing to me as if I was a middle-aged African-American soccer mom who was moderate in its politics. And I joked that it was because I seasoned my food.
I was about to say, but you know what's funny about that? Hold on. You know what's funny about that? I was like, but I bet you got all the best recipes. I swear to God, that was the first thing that came to mind. Because in my head, a conservative, middle-aged soccer mom has time to cook. She has time to cook. And she needs the variety. So she's constantly going to be looking up recipes.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
As a result, like I like the fact that I've been so everybody's heard me talk about all this remodeling that I've been doing. I've completely remodeled my bathroom. Finally done with that. Yay!
Oh, it's all done. Yay!
Yes, the bathroom done.
I haven't seen pictures.
I will make it a point to put a post out tomorrow. You see, and that's what I'm talking about. Leanne got couch ads all week, leather, because she's been randomly talking about it. Here's what I want. I want to put out there, this is to me the blurring the lines between magic and science, this is metaphysics made real. Because I'm a ruin this joke, but it's in my head, so I'm gonna try it.
Try it.
I'm with Brian Griffin. Live it, love it, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to believe and put out there in the universe the things that you want, right? We're always told, like that book, The Secret. The Secret is nothing more than just believing that good things will happen and good shit is supposed to happen because that's what you believe. But if you verbally put out into the world that good things are going to happen, then they're supposed to happen because you said it. So I'm going to put out there that I need a really nice queen size headboard and matching nightstands that go really well with a white room with a black focus wall. Ooh. Because I'm tired of shopping for this goddamn headboard that we can't land on. So I want Google to send me some headboards so I can open up my phone and be like, oh, wow, look at that. Let me click on it. And I want to get coupons for that thing. And I want to get discounts on that thing. I have absolutely no problem because, look, one day the robots are going to take over. And I want to be prepared.
To
And
live
the only
comfortably.
way to live comfortably. And the only way to get prepared for that, when you look at all these, the way things are going to be in, the year 3000. Sorry, that was a Conan O'Brien came to mind. The year 3000. But like when we get into the future, we're going to have things where like, I'm saying, you think like Minority Report and all these movies that have gone like well out into the future. And, like our bank account is attached to our social security number or something like that. Or think of In Time, you have like a little tattoo barcode thing or not, a tattoo countdown timer, and you pay for everything with time because that's really what we do now. Our jobs are paying us to spend time at that place. They give us money, we give them time because you can't be at work and doing, well, some people are fortunate enough to be at work and doing other shit, but some of us have to actually be where we are when we work. So they're paying for our time. And one day when your checking account is attached to your social security number, you'll pay for things with your thumbprint. And you know what I'm saying? Elon Musk is trying to like put a microchip in our head now and stream music directly in. I don't need to go that far just yet. But when cybernetics become a thing and we can get the implants and the upgrades, I'm first in fucking line. Don't think that I don't want to do that shit and that it's cool as hell. There are some amazing capabilities with having those things. I've played enough cyberpunk video games that tell me having a fucking cybernetic eye is useful.
Right? I could use some new eyeballs.
You know what I'm saying? Like having a cybernetic eye, having a titanium arm. I'm wearing a freaking Falcon and Winter Soldier shirt here. You know what I'm saying? Like having that vibranium arm to do stuff. And what does Bucky say? Sometimes he forgets and he doesn't think to use that arm. Eventually, it'll become natural. After he's used it for so long, he's going to know that's the strong arm that I can do stuff with. Mm-hmm. Eventually, we'll get to the point where, you know what I'm saying, as it stands right now, when I go to the grocery store, I use my watch to pay. I tap with my card. I don't enter my PIN. Well, I still enter my PIN because I want the money to come out. I don't want it to sit for 3 days, do the credit thing. But like, I don't have to like hand my card to anybody. I don't swipe my card. I'm always in possession of my materials. I'll use my phone to pay. There's been plenty of times I've left my wallet at home and I'm out and about, but hey, I can still get food. I can still get gas. I can still do the things I need to do. I can still go to the freaking ATM and I have cash on me. Just being able to do something like that is only available because of the technology. So I embrace all facets of the technology. And if I have to give up a little bit of my like,
secrecy.
I can't even say secrecy because nothing that I am all over the internet.
Yeah.
I am all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm very mindful of certain things. Like, for example, I never actually say where I work. Not because I'm ashamed or anything like that, but just because that's where I work. And I know some of the
crazy people trying to find you there.
Some of the things that I say, I don't think I say anything that would get me in trouble according to our social media policy. But some of the things I say may not align directly. And so I shh, don't be telling.
If that's what you're doing, man, get you an OnlyFans, monetize that shit.
I mean, when was the last time I asked anybody to pay me for anything? I'm just
when have I asked anyone to subscribe?
Like these mugs don't just appear.
You think that QR code is for grown-up geeks? No, it's for OnlyFans.
But no, there is the only thing on that QR code. And one day I should actually pull. You know what? I will actually pull that up right now, just so people can see what the QR code actually does and takes them to. Because I talk about it all the time, but you know. So
you gotta cut out.
I gotta cut out.
All right, man.
She's off to bed. I'm fading here.
Not a problem, brother. I appreciate you being on. Oh, wait,
it was a pleasure. It was good seeing you again, Ty.
Pleasure as always, my friend. Get some rest.
Isn't
Why won't it sign me in?
No.
There we go. It wasn't logging me in, and I needed to log in. I have everything
Okay.
saved, and yet it was not giving me my login. But I'm going to pull up my link. I'm going to pull up what it looks like on mobile because that's how most people actually.
Okay. This is for your
Yes.
OnlyFans?
Yes. This is for my. This is actually I have a lot of stuff on here, so you can see it all.
We could have seen it all.
You got to pay for it though. I'm just saying. No, I'm just. You got to pay. If you're not paying, you're not seeing. Let's see. Let me click it there.
This spot ain't free.
Boom. F11 to take off all the borders. Okay, and let's pop the screen up so that
Here we
I
go.
can show everybody what they will actually be seeing. Because there's, I'm not one to like beg and ask for stuff. So the first thing it does come up, it says, of course, Grown A Geeks. This group is a place to be the geek you always wanted to be, and that is more for my. That is my own personal emotional support because, of course, growing up, I hid the fact that I was a geek because of some of the circles that I was in. I had a couple of different groups of friends, and I feel like one group would not have properly accepted. But, of course, now being a geek is so mainstream, and it's like I've been like this for so long. And people who were close to me kind of knew, but, even then I didn't really go too much into it. They just see me off in the corner. They didn't realize I had like a book bag full of comic books. So the very first thing that comes up is tips and love offering. You can just donate an amount. It goes into an account specifically designated for Grown A Geeks. I only use those funds for Grown A Geek stuff. It's not for personal funds. I have a job. I don't use.
What's that through?
This tips and love offering is you can select amount or you can choose your own amount. And when you put that in, it goes into a Chime account that is specifically designated for Grown A Geeks. This is actually Linktree. So when you scan that QR code, it takes you to Linktree and it shows you all of these links.
So I have a Linktree. That's why I was just curious.
So I have
Chime
tips and
that's
tips and love offering. I mean, you can assign whatever bank you want to assign it to. Merch line. For those people who are not aware, you click on the link. It takes you to our store. I have all types of shit. You can buy shirts, and I've got like water bottles and mugs, and like that's our gag after dark. We have the gag anime with a familiar-esque logo. Didn't want to have any copyright infringements, but we have a familiar-esque logo.
Dragon Ball gag.
Exactly. I tried so hard to make a shirt that said, "But can he beat Goku?" And I could not make that shirt. It would not allow me to make that shirt. In fact, it was going to be here. So you got the logo on the front, big logo on the back, and it was going to say it had a dope ass image of Goku right there, and it was just going to say, "But can he beat Goku?" That was
because of the picture.
Both the word Goku kept flagging, and the image kept flagging. I figured out a way to get around it, but my creative director
too, Anthony.
My creative director advised me against going that route to do it. It was like, if you really want to make that shirt, we can make this shirt. For those of you who have been around for a while, we used to have a whole sports podcast. You know what? I'm gonna just bury the hatchet for a quick second. And I was in my feelings about this for a long time, but they're my friends, and I miss their dumbasses. Gag on These Balls podcast. Those are the geek variants. And the geek variants, they branched and created another standalone group. They are the geek variants. And so we no longer run our sports podcast. But when we did run it, it was Gag Sports Network, and we had shirts, all types of stuff. And the podcast was called Gag on These Balls because they talked about all different sports. and it was pretty cool. But now they're doing some other things. Hoodies and sweatshirts. Let me tell you something. I personally own 3 of these. This hoodie right here, this is the softest, most comfortable hoodie ever. If you do not have one of these, grab you one of these. That bitch is comfortable. I don't know how to go back from here.
F11.
Right, I had to get all my links out of there. Accessories and other little things I actually have, because masks were a big thing for a long time. Might as well have a mask. And we have one for GAG Sports Network. Phone cases. You can actually, what kind of Samsung phone do you have? Take your pick. You can have a Grown A Geeks cell phone case. They do
I
not
got
have,
a Google
they do not have
Pixel
the Google
4S.
Pixel. They literally have Samsung and iPhone. I thought it was crazy. They have Samsung and iPhone, but you can get Samsung and iPhone. Bags, I just did like a drawstring bag because I'm like, I'm not going to use that. The drinkware is my favorite. This mug right here. I have this one. I do not have this one. But this one, since it has both logos, I need to adjust that so they're both $19.99. I did not know that one was $24.99. Yeah, we got to fix that. But what I've actually done with most of this is I've taken just about everything that I could take down to cost. I've taken almost everything down to cost so that because it's not about profit.
It's about spreading the brand.
It is honestly about brand love. And that's always been more important to me. Send me a message directly. Let me know what size, and I'll see if that option is available. Because I will say that's the only downside to the drop shipping. I'm limited to what they make available. I'll say it that way. So when we go to Classic T, it'll let me go up to 3. Let's see. I think different colors. Okay, so if you go with the dark blue, the black, the red only goes up to 3X, but the dark blue and the black go all the way up to 4X.
5X tall, it looks like. Or just 5XL and then 4X.
Okay, so they have 4X tall and 5XL. See, my shit be like right in here, small, medium, large. Large is big, so it's like, I don't know. But I do know that there are some options. Good. And again, like I said, I've taken just about everything down to cost. And the basic stuff, like the shirts, the classic shirts, because this is like if I do a giveaway or something like that, and Denisha has been begging me for the longest to do a giveaway. She keeps saying she'll pay for it. I'm like, I need a good giveaway to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I need a theme behind the giveaway. It'll probably be like a subscription giveaway. Bring in 5 members, get them to subscribe. I'll do like a YouTube contest or something. Like you have to like and comment this video and share it one time. I don't know, but I don't know a way to track them actually sharing.
You won't be able to track sharing. Typically for YouTube, it's like and subscribe, and then you would do like a random generator, pick one.
Right. I mean, Jeff knows how to do all my random generator stuff, so I can get Jeffrey to take care of a lot of that stuff. My thing is just like, I want to be able to ensure that we have all the algorithms in place. I want to keep it fair. I want to keep it honest. I don't want anybody to feel, because I'm very interactive with our group. So yeah. I know a lot of people in our group.
What you could do if you're trying to get more subscribers, whether it's YouTube or you guys have a GAG Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Like you could do like a $20 gift card to the merchandise, so that way they can kind of pick what they want, and it's that way they have to like, subscribe, or like, follow, and tag people in, and then that way you're trying to bring in more people in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm good with building any aspect of the group and the fandom. If the Facebook gets bigger, I'm good with that. More Facebook members will have more people joining us for these conversations so we can talk about things. Because I'm at the point, like, I always be like, you know what? We could do a short show. I'll sit on this bitch 4 hours if people want to talk to me. You know this. I've done it numerous times. And so it is absolutely fantastic. Hey, we got West Coast in the house. What's going on, Shay? I'm absolutely okay with just having an open floor forum. And like, if I don't have specific topics to talk about, because see, okay, I thought about, oh, that's actually not a bad idea. You know what? But I'm kind of working on that through the TikTok now. What I need is a social media manager. I need to do this full time. If I did not work 60, 70 hours a week, there would be so much more that gets done. And because we're not sponsored yet, nobody's paying us. We do this because we love it and this is fun. If I can get to a point where I have enough subscribers and I get enough views and things like that, then I'm able to afford to spend more time. Do you know the type of edits I would do on some of these videos? Like, okay, if anybody wants to get an idea of where my creativity goes, shameless plug, but this is also a legitimate request. If you go to our YouTube channel, matter of fact, let me come back over here real quick. If you go to our YouTube channel, and where was the link tree? There. Let me pull that up. Boom, hit that.
All right, getting right on in.
So, and I'm just gonna, you know what? I'll take us through that real quick. So of course that's the YouTube, and I can't subscribe to myself. What do you mean? So I will admit that was, if you click that link, it will automatically take you to the subscription option when you get to the YouTube channel. So you go to the YouTube channel here, right? And when you go to the library, you go to history and everything like that. Now, under the playlist, if you want to get an idea of like where we would go and how we would do things, look at any of the therapy videos. Let me like mute that.
They're super fun, by the way.
Yes, therapy is a whole lot of fun. But if you look through the therapy videos, you get an idea of what we could do. And I want to find, why did I watch that? Okay, so here are, let's see, why did I watch that? 5, that's 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to scrub through this video. So this one here, why did I watch this 6? Now, take a peek at the production value on this video. Let me open up. So here was our trailer, or not trailer, but this was our disclaimer. Of course, got the logo and the QR code there. We shared the Facebook group, and we shared, at one point I did have some little sponsorship. So there's the YouTube channel. And then this is actually like all the places you could hear all of our content, because we ran it as a podcast also. And then, where is it? Boom. There is, why did I watch that? Grown A Geek's bad movie review, right? And then you go through the video, and as you can see, it's just the 3 of us on camera talking, right? And you get to the end of the video, 10 seconds left. So you get to the end of the video, and this is how it goes. Boom, got my little outro. I'm hella proud of that outro.
That is a beautiful outro.
I got to give all the props to Lawrence, who hooked that up for me. Big shout out to Lawrence Suggs. That's my boy. I will make sure to, like, I got to put his Twitch. I gotta promote his Twitch, because he does some awesome shit on his Twitch. Now, look at that production, right? Now watch this. If we go to... there he is. Lawrence, do me a favor. Put your Twitch channel in the chat. I'm gonna make a banner out of it and put it across the bottom because he has an awesome show as well. Because that's the thing, like, I don't want to be at the top by myself. I need y'all around me. So when I get my big studio, I can bring everybody in under my umbrella. We can like kill Rooster Teeth. We'll have a whole series, Whiskalodian, being produced over here by Gag Networks. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do Lord Spews. He does this really awesome show where he runs a live Twitch and he has like animators come on and drawing battles with celebs. Like he has animators come on and they like give a topic and you watch this person actually draw the thing real time. And it's like some of the animators are like they have people who've done the voices on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He got some actual celebs, and Lawrence does like some great animation and a lot of great CG stuff. So there we go. They had Pendleton Ward, Creative Adventure Time, Blake Anderson. It's an amazing show. And, you know, I'm all about cross promotion, and I love what you guys do as well. And I thank you all for being a part of what I do. So I want to make sure that we talk about that. But Lawrence made that outro for me, and I use it for everything. Not because it's the only one I have. I actually have a couple, but that one is just like dope as hell. And so that's the one I continue to use. But in terms of production, so we're going to go to this one, Replicas. Now, this was a show that we did a little bit later. So still have same intro, goes through, shows the screen, everything there. We have that. And this was where it started to go. So we were talking and, you know, we got that. But this go round, we started incorporating a little bit more visuals, some visual aids. Because we're doing a visual podcast, we're talking about things, so of course visual aids are going to make a difference. And I love Denise. She just pulled her mug up for the whole little like shameless plug right there. She's such a professional. But we have that, and of course there's like all of these images in this one that incorporate, and they kind of come in at different times. And it shows, like, I think right here, we were having a whole conversation just discussing, because I realize it's buffering. We were having a whole conversation discussing how this was different here than it was in Minority Report. Because notice here, he has on a helmet. But in Minority Report, he had on the special gloves. And so the argument is like, okay, so is he the only one that can see the constructs that he's making and working with? Or could other people in the room see it as well? Because that really just looks like a fancy VR visor. The production level from these videos continued to increase as we got more and more involved, and I had time in between the videos to do these things. And of course, I was talking about something here, and I was like, oh yeah, and you know, Keanu was looking real sad. So what do? We pulled up sad Keanu meme, because of course we pulled up sad Keanu meme, you know?
As you should.
And so we get there, and of course, we get to the end, boom. And look, it automatically tells us we should be watching Weigh In Wednesdays. And look at that, Bullet Train is good. So I got to check that out soon. Now, one of the high points of our videos have been, oh, look at that. Love my channel.
As you should.
So then when we go back and we look at, there was that one. Okay, all these are Weigh In Wednesdays. Let's go to playlist, full reviews. I didn't even know that it shows all my liked video. Okay, that's private. I was like, wait a minute. That shouldn't be showing. Yeah. Okay, so that's well, we won't get into that. Movie and TV reviews. Nope. Black Widow review. See, that's like a much older review there. Let me find contract. I'm not on mine, so let's go back. So here. We talk about this episode all the time. So again, here's one of those that, given time and opportunity, here's where the production would go. And this is why I'm saying, like, if I can get to a point where I do this all day, every day, there's music playing right here. We've got nicknames. Of course, see, look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Grown A Geeks hoodie right there. And here we did a review. Why did I watch that? A bad movie review. And we pick movies that get bad reviews online. And then we watch the movies and we give it our own review. And a lot of times it's a lot better or a lot worse than when the review comes out. And if it's accurate, we make sure that you know. And if it turns out to be better, we let you know. This was one of those that actually turned out to be better. So we have transitions, because like this video is 22 minutes long. Denise and I sat and talked for like an hour and a half, and I edited it down to 22 minutes. So if I had the time, now the live shows are totally different because we're live and I'm going to be me and I'm going to talk, and given the opportunity, it's hard to shut me up sometimes.
No.
Yeah, believe it or not, I like to talk. Who knew, right? But let me see if I can find some of the... Okay, so... how far away? Okay. So here we're talking about, I know there's a scene coming up. We're talking about Jada. So, of course, Jada comes up on the screen. We talk about, you see, I've got her down in the corner there. Just the production on this, I included a lot of different things that were relevant to what we were talking about when it was relevant to have it included. We did a whole little segment where we were talking about Wayman in the video, and we include Wayman in the video just so because it was appropriate to what we were talking about. And we talked about the progressiveness of that video or excuse me, of this movie at the time it came out to include a character like Wayman. I know that was a big part of it. And we talked about, but you'll notice there the background, you know, we've got the proper display images. It just looks better because I had time to sit and do one. And so, you know, I would love to like sit and just record these videos. And let me find, actually, you know what? Let's pull up a, Ty, why did I watch that? Not why did I watch that? You were on Star Wars?
Well, we had one of Star Wars, Therapy, and then we also did DC, and then I was also on Wonder Woman.
Okay. So Therapy, let's pull these up. And, that's episode 1. Let's go back.
Well, in your right-hand corner, you should have the list that's there.
There it is, the playlist. Flash, Superman, Star Wars special, and the DC Roundup. So, again, just to like, even the fact that it has the better thumbnail, you know what I'm saying? All of that is production. All of that is production. And it seems so minor, but look at me in my Star Wars hat. Such a fan. And it's just like being able to do this type of thing is only, well, I was watching that one the other day. I didn't finish it. But just that disclaimer, having it look the way that it looks, you know, all that's production. And being able to pay somebody to go through and edit these videos would be fantastic. So this is what I want to do full time. I want to have a full on talk show and bring on guests and ask questions and let them talk about their stuff and promote their stuff. Because like when you go on Jimmy Kimmel Live, you know what I'm saying? Like you get to go on and promote your thing. It doesn't take away from the fact that you're on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you're on the Howard Stern show, you're on the Howard Stern show talking about whatever it is you're talking about, but you're on that show and it doesn't take away from the fact that you're on that show talking about your thing. So when people come here, I'm all about like promote your thing. I have no problem with that. Even if it is in direct competition, because I think you've got like 500 downloads
Over the course of like 4 months.
right,
But still, yeah.
If I were to go through the dates on my let me tell you how big that is, Ty. Like all jokes aside, man, because when I tell you I've been kind of like playing around with this thing for a while, and I think I've even told you how fantastic I think your production is. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's like it's not to be discredited. And hey, Rich, you have a good night, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. It won't let me actually post the meme, but there's a nice little like good night icon that posted with that. So you have a great evening, man. And all those sizes were available. Don't forget. But yeah, like whenever I take that type of stuff, I use those funds to pay the cost of other things that are all Grown A Geeks involved. So like there's funds sitting in that particular account. And so if I do a giveaway and somebody wins a mug, that's how it gets paid for. If somebody wins a shirt, that's how it gets paid for. It's literally just to kind of like cover costs in a lot of cases. Spotify. I think I actually have Spotify as an app on my computer, so I don't know if it's going to. Yep, it's going to make me log in, and I don't know if I can because I never remember. Like, I don't have it connected to my Google account. I find that hard to believe because everything's connected to my Google account. That's what we've been talking about. I'm not ashamed to have it connected to my Google. I will pull it up a different way. But there it is. Let's pull it up. Yeah, so we've got the Tips and Love offering, the merch line, the podcast. It has links to the podcast, the links to the YouTube, links to the Facebook group, and links to the Instagram. So when you click that QR code, it shows you all of that content. It gives you the option to subscribe, and it has like the quick links for the Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube. I don't know how to include the Twitch there. Plus, like I'm gonna have to create a new Twitch because
Why?
Well, my Twitch account is called Gag Gamers, and I see that I can do more than just gaming with Twitch. When I created it 5-6 years ago, only thing people were doing on Twitch was gaming, streaming games. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like now that I see I can do more, I need to like remove the gaming, just as there's an option to do more. And you know, Lawrence, we're going to talk because I promise you every time I try to go in and change it, it tells me that I can't change my name to my name. And I'm like, I just want to change the display name. If you could do that, I'd be happy. I don't need to change the account that's associated. And I've struggled with it. So it's one of those things. I put it on the back burner. I just been rocking it as is. But the Spotify, let me kick this bad boy up. So I think we did a video one night with me and DJ. We were going through my Spotify, so I'm not ashamed. I have no shame. I have no shame for my music taste. I love the diversity in my music taste. So let's pull this up and we can. And I think I'm pretty sure you got like a mini plug that day. because of course you'll come up under. So if we go to let's go to library, and okay, so that's my like songs. Go to podcast, and oh, they put me on blast. They are bullshitting me.
They put you down there?
No. It is not okay. Okay, I forgot you changed your image. I was like, bro, why are they acting like I'll have you saved? Why are they fronting on me like I'll have you saved? They tripping. Oh my God, why is they doing that? But like, no, it's you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's right here, and there it is with Nickelodeon, and you know what I'm saying. So that's for those of you who were not aware. This is Ty right here. This is where he does. This is Ty and Sean. They get on, they talk about their stuff, and I will say this is weird though because I don't feel like this maps over from my phone the exact same way.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just like I know I have like 15 friends on my Spotify, and this is only showing 2.
Okay.
So it's weird because I know like Jeff Miller, he and I are friends on here. We've shared playlists, and we did the see like right here where it says like Joe Monk and Short Dog, the blend. That's one of my sons. Marius, that's my other son. My daughter, my wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have other friends, and it's only showing 2, which is weird. And that's my cousin right there. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with one of the logins I use. But nonetheless, we go to library and go to podcast. Boom. So yeah, like it's right there. And you know, we have a lot of different stuff. And for a while, this was running pretty consistently. There was a weekly show for Gag on These Balls with the sports talk, and we did things like, you know, we've got the Demon Slayer movie review, Suicide Squad movie review, Mugen Train. We covered all of What If. I mean, we covered a good bit of stuff, and once we had some changes, some things got shaken up, some stuff got moved around. I think the last thing. So we have therapy through episode 3. So I've got to upload 4, 5, and 6 there. And then why did I watch that? Breach, the last one we uploaded there. And then we have a weigh-in Wednesday from March. So like right around the March timeline, some stuff changed, and the time got away from me. So the lives became a little bit easier to manage to get content available to people. But pretty soon I've got to like make a change with this and get this up because we have some pretty good live shows. So if nothing else, I still got to like at least clip out these shows to include that.
Plus, we have a new segment that we're going to be doing.
Yes, I cannot wait to get started on that segment. I don't think we officially voted on what we were going to call it, but the premise of the show is, you know, when Jeff, Ty, and I get together, we pretty much write a movie every time it's the 3 of us on screen. We've done this about 4 or 5 times now, and we've decided that we need to start recording those more often and dedicate a whole show just to that. It will cover primarily fan casting, whether that be recasting our dream cast, having conversations about people who were almost cast.
Yeah, what ifs.
Yeah, some of those what if castings. And just like a real quick example would be who we would like to see as the X-Men, which X-Men we might like to see in a future project, which storyline to adapt for those X-Men. And then we could probably do a second show if we were sticking with the topic of X-Men, and we could talk about the other people who auditioned for the role of Wolverine and how that would have affected the character had it not been Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
In Iron Man, Tom Cruise was originally auditioned for Iron Man, but it ended up going to Robert Downey Jr. And I believe it was primarily because of schedule conflict. And so how would that have affected the MCU? And it's funny because if you really dive down that rabbit hole, just a quick thought that comes to mind. If Tom Cruise had been in the MCU, it might have affected the production of Mission Impossible, which then would have had a bearing on Henry Cavill's appearance in Mission Impossible, which might have weighed differently for the Justice League movie.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that it would have made it better, but they could have eliminated at least the issue of CGI because he would have been able to shave. There would have been no delay in production because when they went to do the reshoots, it's almost like imagine what would have been if original footage that was not reshot had been used in place. Tom Cruise being in the MCU could have caused that. That's the butterfly effect of that. You see?
That's an interesting take. I like that.
But that's the kind of stuff that we're going to get into a lot more when we have our Hollywood show, our casting show, the Gag casting couch. Gag on the casting. Let me not. We want people to watch this show on regular YouTube, not on like premium channels.
Yes. That's the premium content on your OnlyFans that they got to subscribe to.
Right. That's what they got. But you know what's funny? I actually thought one time like just creating a Patreon and doing a handful of like Gag After Dark shows.
Okay.
I know the people that would be on those shows and just what the hell? You're welcome to sit and hear some of these conversations that we're gonna have. But you know what? You paid for it, so you're welcome to hear everything. You're welcome, all behind the scenes footage, all of it right there. But even little things like I would just
upload them to the hub.
You know what? We could do that. We could do, and you know what? But the funny thing is, it's surprising how like you hear that like the weirdest shit gets views on there.
Yeah. I mean, people just, from what I'm understanding,
Right.
people they want something to search.
I mean, what was it that was supposedly like had more views? Wasn't anime. I want to say it might have been an anime show, animated movie or something, but
there's a math teacher who uploads to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. Well, I mean, you think about it. Administrators aren't going to admit to having seen it. Yeah, leaked trailers. I do know about leaked trailers. There was something that like that's how people first like discovered it. I want to say it was like something. Was it Dragon Ball Z? There was something that got uploaded to the hub, and it was normal. I'm air quoting normal because I don't want anyone to feel some kind of way about what they search on the hub. But it was non-hub-esque material that got uploaded, and it had like stupid views. Like so many people watched it, and it might have been a leaked movie or something like that. Or not a leaked movie, but a pirated copy of a film was up there, and like people were going there to watch that, and it was great. And I'm thinking, you know what, that would be absolutely awesome. So, yeah, when Gag Studio Network becomes a thing, when Gag Studios exist, I promise you, I will put content on the hub just to say we did it. Go back, mark your calendars, and know that we talked about it, and we actually did it.
This one's for you,
right.
Lawrence.
But I would absolutely do that. Some of the things that, you know what, I actually thought tonight, normally I put out for the mods, I normally put out like a small list of topics of things we're going to talk about. And one of the things I was like, do I even want to talk about Ezra Miller? And I kind of feel like I do, but I don't. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
But there was something regarding Ezra Miller that I did want to kind of like just touch on.
Which one to touch on?
And this is the only thing is we had somebody posted, I think Russell actually posted an article about the apology.
His weak ass apology.
His very weak apology. And of course, it's one of those comparisons where it's like, well, they canceled the Batgirl production, even though that was going to be, direct to streaming. They canceled that. And now, even with Ezra's like ridiculous apology, there's a lot of question as to whether or not this is going to be canceled. And the only thing that I wanted to the only thing that I wanted to say was, I think it is very bad juju for WB to go through this whole string of cancellations. Now, I understand from the business side of things that it's easier to write off the canceled items if they don't show it.
Yeah. Like, if there's no trailers, if there's no press.
Right. Like if they actually like axe Batgirl and they do nothing with Batgirl, they can write it off as whatever, as part of the takeover with the new president and that sort of thing. And it's almost like no harm, no foul. It doesn't count against them.
It still kind of counts against them. This is a $90 million project that got canned.
And I get that. It's a $90 million, but it's also one of those $90 million in, correct me if I'm wrong, nobody has cut a check for 90.
Yeah, they did. That $90 million covered the cast and the crew. It took $90 million to make the movie. They haven't edited it yet. So maybe part of the budget is going to editing, but no, they paid the actors and the crew, and that $90 million was part of that budget.
Okay, now if they're scrapping this and the people involved still get their check, I feel a little bit differently about this, because I feel like the one of the articles I read recently, the young lady that was playing Leslie Grace, the young lady who was playing Batgirl, had some choice words for DC, straight up calling them cowards for not releasing it.
Do you know why? So oftentimes casts, like the main cast and even the upper like producer, directors, and stuff like that, they get something up front, but then they make their money on the back end because they get a percentage of
those additional points of sales and things like that. And see, but I can understand that, and thinking about like even with like Scarlett Johansson, that was part of her big thing with the theatrical release and the delay and all that sort of stuff. I get how that part makes a difference. But how would that work in a situation where it was going to be released to streaming and we weren't going to have ticket sales?
So the big thing with Scarlett Johansson was like, look, I'm fine with it going to streaming, but we need to renegotiate.
And that part I get. But for Leslie Grace.
Yeah. So I'm sure there was some like back ends like, hey, if this does really well, if we get so many new subscribers, you'll get a check out of that.
Okay. I can see that. Okay. But there again, it's one of those things. It's like, how many people are going to subscribe just to see Batgirl? But who knows? Maybe it was going to be the rave, the talk of the town. It was going to be so fantastic, and they're going to jump on because people signed up for Witcher. People sign up all the time. They sign up, they watch, they cancel. They still got to pay for that month, and if they see a spike because of that, it could absolutely be directly connected. In either case, even though that's a $90 million hit that they take, as a company, as a corporation like DC, like Warner Brothers as a whole, I'm not going to say they can eat that 90, but that's not going to stop the company from opening the doors tomorrow.
So I don't think it's going to affect the company. I think it's going to put a lot of distrust in the production companies. Because like it's basically treating movies like pilot season. There are plenty of pilots that we'll never see that they spend a ton of money on. I mean, you could take a look at one of the spinoffs for Game of Thrones. It was a $30 million pilot episode that they're like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, this ain't gonna work. And the difference though is when you look at when you look at the Ezra Miller situation, we're well past 90.
We are. I believe it's 200 mil.
200 mil.
So
they can't take that. They can't take that same hit, right off or not. They got to recoup some of that.
Well, here's the thing: does a recoup? Is that going to be? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say like they got to figure out if the backlash is worth the recoup. And
to some degree, I get that. But see, there's my solution for that, and my suggestion, because I can't even say it's a solution. I don't know that it's going to work. But I'd look at it, and I did post this suggestion in the group. I was curious as to what anybody had to think about it. But like, okay, so we got Ezra Miller coming out saying, "Oh, I now understand that over the past, however, my actions, blah 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 blah.
I will try and do better."
Obviously, some pre-scripted PR bullshit that he was forced to say in order to get anything, and not just straight up be fired. I am certain that this willingness to go to rehab was less than voluntary. And it's probably directly related to his paycheck. And I would say this is a scenario where it's weird because I don't necessarily think that there are so many fans clamoring for, oh, you got to release this movie. I don't think that's what's happening. But it's been in the works for so long. It's been talked about for so long. They've included all these different things.
They brought Michael Keaton on.
I was about to say, we've got a Supergirl. We've got old school Batman. We've got new school Batman. I think it's just too much potential good to scrap the whole thing. But I do understand how there would be backlash if you release it. But here's what you do.
You put it on Pornhub.
There you go. Problem solved. People got to look, and you make it premium, so you can recoup by the people who paid up. They're the only ones that get to see it. But no, seriously, like you go through a situation where his proceeds from the film that would have gone to Ezra Miller go to family of the victims involved.
Okay.
A portion goes directly to the mental health charity of his choosing.
Okay.
Allow it to cover the cost of his rehab.
Okay.
And the rest, like once those things are done, if there's anything left,
they can pocket the change.
No, honestly, at that point, maybe I'm the bad guy for this, but if there's like from whatever's left from that, that still goes to Ezra Miller. And I say that just because regardless of the shenanigans pulled, he was in the movie. He did act. He did a job.
And he got paid for that job. So now, it's just a question
of
the back end.
Okay, now the back end, no, that's he don't get that.
He gets what he was offered for the role, and then all the back end percentage stuff that would have been in addition.
Right, like he gets 0 points on the back end, and that's just for them to allow him to
save face,
It helps DC as well because they're like taking, in a sense, a stand. They're reprimanding him for, like, hey, you were out there, you were doing dumb shit, you fucked up, like, so you don't get your bonus. You essentially, like, you fucked up, you don't get your bonus. Now, if they want to like cut him something separate under the table, like make sure don't nobody find out about that part. But it definitely needs to go to families of the victims, everybody that was involved, cover all, they need to cover all the legal fees.
And legally, too, they couldn't just say, hey, you've lost your bonus. They would have to pressure him to give up his bonus.
And that's why I say, like, that's the reason that he is come forward now and suddenly he's like, oh, well, I apologize. Because like I said, because they have not scrapped it yet, there's still the possibility that this gets released. If this gets released, he's contractually obligated to whatever was due him.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of gets sticky as far as like, do you give it to him? Because you have to be careful not to look like you're siding with him, especially, after the whole Amber Heard thing, you've got the Johnny Depp thing. But the first thing that comes to mind is like, a lot of people in Hollywood have those shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because like, if he gets the help that he needs and he toes the line and he does the right things, I don't necessarily think he's going to be a Johnny Depp story. Not Johnny Depp. I don't think he's going to be a Robert Downey Jr. story where he makes this tremendous comeback and completely redeems himself in the face of the public, because what they did was totally different. RDJ was just kind of fucking up his own life.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller's terrorizing other people. There's a difference, and it's a clear difference, and I understand that. But people can change, and people deserve at least a second chance. On the plus side for Ezra, all his fuck-ups were together. It was one thing after another, but it's like it's a crazy 2 years for Ezra Miller.
Yeah. It was during a time period, and if we can get past that time period, he can show change.
Right. And
that's why I was saying, like, he would have to voluntarily give up his back end for that to be like, hey, he means business.
And I think I even said specifically, if he wants to show that he's serious, this is what needs to happen. And if he does that, it's a win-win for everybody involved. And the best part about it, as the fans, we get the content. Do we need the content? Probably not. I mean, the DCEU is dead. That's what I've been calling it for a while now. It is the DCEU. And so this is very true. And there's actually another movie coming out very soon, which is kind of crazy. There's another movie coming out very soon that actually stars Ezra Miller, and it kind of looks like Ezra Miller is playing Ezra Miller in the movie because of the kind of role. What is it? Let me see if I can find that real quick. It's not that. I swear I just saw the trailer for this the other day. Is there anything in post-production?
Here,
asking for
you have Dollyland?
Asking for no. It came out 2021. It's called Asking For It. It is not a good movie. It is not rated. It is not rated high. I am not trying to say that it is. But because of who was in it, Alexandra Shipp, Vanessa Hudgens, Kiersey Clemens, I was like, okay, wait, what is this? This seems pretty cool. Okay, wait a minute. And as I'm watching the trailer,
Luke Hemsworth, least famous of the Hemsworth.
Correct. But watch that trailer when you get a chance. Ezra Miller is playing Ezra Miller in this. But it does this. It seems like it could be an interesting movie. And part of me, and I hate to admit this, but part of me wanted to watch it just because seeing Ezra Miller in the trailer for it was like, wait, what the hell? But looking at it now, I see that this was done 2021 before, so he's already made that movie. But it's kind of like at the time that this was happening, or at the time this had to be filming, that would have been the time that, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. That's when all of these shenanigans would have been taking place.
Yeah.
But it's on Hulu. So I saw the trailer for it initially on Hulu, and I was flipping through trying to find something to watch. And I saw the trailer for that. It's a movie on Hulu. Because I was thinking the other day when they were talking about how the movie Prey, which that is still like, okay, I get it, but really, y'all, it's all right, I guess. We'll save that one for another day. But I was scrolling through and I saw the trailer for this, and because it has Ezra Miller in it, literally, I wanted to see it just because of this weak cast. But Alexandra Shipp, I was interested there. Vanessa Hudgens, not gonna lie, kind of interested there. Kiersey Clemens, I think she's a great actress. Interested there as well. And Ezra Miller's playing the bad guy?
He's got a really weak mustache.
But that alone. But just like the character he's kind of portraying in this, it's like Ezra Miller as Ezra Miller. This is because he kind of seems like he's terrorizing these girls here as well. So,
I you know what I really want to see? I want to see a movie where you have Daniel Radcliffe playing Elijah Wood, and Elijah Wood's playing Daniel Radcliffe. Because white people all look the same.
but those two in particular. So the premise of the movie would have to be it's them acting as themselves, but acting as one another.
Yeah.
So it would be.
This was based off a script someone put together where you had Terry Crews and Vin Diesel having to go undercover to a Comic-Con, but they're both secretly nerds and are trying to like not tell the other. And then the villains is Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood playing the other person.
I remember the conversation. I remember the conversation. And so it was Daniel Radcliffe.
Originally as Daniel Radcliffe, like, no, I want Elijah Wood as Daniel Radcliffe. And then Daniel Radcliffe could be Elijah Wood.
Right. So what do you put? So do you initially show? Well, do you want them as the? Do you want each actor to portray the other actor, or to portray the actor as the character of said actor? Because I'm thinking to myself, do we want to see Elijah Wood in Harry Potter garb and Daniel Radcliffe as Frodo?
No, they would be playing the person, not a character that the person's done.
So then, in order to do that, we would have to have.
I mean, we could.
Daniel,
no.
And this
Elijah Wood as Harry Potter is hilarious.
But hold on, this is how you pull that off.
Okay.
You do a in scene, potentially a flashback, where you show. Oh, I got it. Damn, we got it. See, this is why we have to have our show, because we just wrote a whole other movie. Terry Crews is doing security on the Lord of the Rings set.
Okay.
when we see Elijah Wood on set, it's played by Daniel Radcliffe. When they call cut, Terry Crews has to escort Elijah Wood to his trailer. It is Daniel Radcliffe that's actually walking to the trailer. That's how you get Daniel Radcliffe to be Elijah Wood.
And Jeff, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm wanting.
And then, in comparison, when we hear Vin Diesel also did security on a movie set, he did security because he has to one up. Okay,
Yeah.
you were on the set for Lord of the Rings? I was on the set for Harry Potter. Now, Daniel Radcliffe's personal security is Vin Diesel, and that Daniel Radcliffe is played by
Elijah Wood.
That's how you do it.
That's how it's done.
And even better, we get to see both of them as a younger version. We give them horrible wigs. Vin Diesel and Terry Crews, we give them horrible wigs because they were nobodies at the time. They were just doing security. They were off-duty police officers. In his flashback, because that's how he sees
imagines himself as The Rock.
Ooh. You know what? It won't work because we've already got Vin Diesel in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what just came to mind?
What came to mind?
When Vin Diesel has his flashback, he pictures himself as The Rock. You know what? We'll fix it in post.
Oh, we'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. Because that's a reshoot and we don't tell Vin Diesel because he's not going to okay it. Yeah, like that would be fantastic. I mean, any kind of like biopic, or I'm thinking like you could also do a segment where
because you know what I'm imagining? I'm imagining them going over the top like Nicolas Cage in the Nicolas Cage movie.
Right.
Like that's just that over the top, trying to portray the other person as over the top.
Yeah. And I think it works out so well just because you have sounds like it. I mean, if we could get it, maybe we could make it an episode and have it funded by viewers like you. You click that QR code up in the corner. There's a tab right at the top. Donation. We can make it happen. But yeah, like so. Honestly, yeah. There's a couple of different ways that could go. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if you have again, it comes to production, and if you get Elijah Wood to star in the biopic, the irony is that right now, Daniel Radcliffe is doing the biopic for Weird Al. So what if we have a biopic being made about Daniel Radcliffe and we use Elijah Wood as the actor who's going to be portraying? So it'd be Elijah Wood as himself playing as Daniel Radcliffe, which makes it even more meta because Elijah knows that he's playing Daniel Radcliffe. Nick Cage playing anyone else would be awesomeness. Yeah. I mean, no, Nick Cage needs not play anyone except Nick Cage. That's a character in and of itself.
I'm going to go ahead and take that idea and make it even more meta. It is a Daniel Radcliffe documentary, and it is Elijah Wood pretending to be Daniel. No, hold on. How's this going to work? It would have to be Daniel Radcliffe pretending to be Elijah Wood, cast in the role of playing Daniel Radcliffe. So now he's having to pretend to be Dan Radcliffe, pretending to be Daniel Radcliffe. Or, yeah, Elijah Wood pretending to be Dan Radcliffe.
Ah. I think that's 16 walls. If we add any more walls, the joke is lost. I'm with you though. I do see how that works. And honestly, you know what? But we have to be careful because we don't want to get into the realm of parody. Because the very next thing that comes to mind is I was thinking about the comment you said. So it's like when we do the initial auditioning, you have the directors right there sitting behind the table. When they're like, okay, who's next? Oh, we have Daniel Radcliffe coming to audition. Oh, great. Daniel Radcliffe, that's the kid from, and actually like start messing it up right there. Daniel Radcliffe, is that the kid from Lord of the Rings? No. You're thinking of Elijah Wood. This is Daniel Radcliffe, the kid from Harry Potter. In walks Elijah Wood. He has to stay in character because he realizes they think he's Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, that's an entirely different movie, and I love this.
And then they decide to cast him. And Daniel Radcliffe comes in. They think it's Elijah Wood. Have them like ruin each other's lines. You know what I'm saying? Because he comes in, he's like, oh man, you know what? It's so awesome that you're here. We really appreciate you being here. So Elijah, like, first off, let me just let you know, I loved you in Harry Potter. I think, the scar, the glasses, and, he kind of looks confused at first. And he's like, but, a star of your power just being here. Just the fact that you were in Harry Potter almost guarantees you this role. But, we got to do the interview. So we'll let you audition. And so he's like, oh, yeah, expectum Patronus. Yeah. No, he's like, yeah, expect some Patron for us. Yeah. He just starts messing it up, ruining the lines, and he's trying to he's doing a monologue trying to quote Harry Potter, but like getting it all wrong.
It's like, now, can you do the British accent? And then the same thing with Dan Radcliffe as Elijah Wood. They're like, so could you drop the English accents? Just be normal.
Right, it's like we're not looking for that. Give us, and so like now he's like, you know what? Give us the Lord of the kind of Frodo energy you gave before. And of course now he realizes what's going on. So his entire audition is just him walking around the room in circles slowly, falling every few seconds, trying to recreate a monologue from Lord of the Rings. It's like,
fine, keep your secrets.
This ring is so heavy. What about second breakfast? Does he know about noonsies? Big spider die. Wait, not dead. Wizard light. Throw the ring in the volcano? And they're like, oh, fantastic. He's just
like I'm watching it all over again.
Right. He's just like confused as to what the hell's going on. You know what? That is a different movie, but I would watch that one too.
Yes.
I would watch that one too. Or better yet, that could actually be the way they remember our Vin Diesel and Terry Crews characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story that each of them tell about the auditions they took them to. Like one was the driver for him and the other was like security at the location or something. And that's the stories they remember. But they got it backwards because, well, no, because the whole point of them being like uber geeks, they would know that. They would know the difference. So like, but I think it would still work well enough as the in joke for them to know it was backwards, but support it anyway. And maybe they're testing the others. They're gatekeeping one another to see. But just that scene alone would work. Let's see. Actually, one better because like the I Am Groot line works so well, but they should get the I Am Superman from Iron Giant because so few people know that he was the voice of the Iron Giant.
That's right.
And I think that if he uses the Iron Giant, which is just a, it's Groot, but different. Because he only has like the one line, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a Fast and Furious. So I'm liking our parody movie. This sounds like not even movie 43 because we could do a series of
It's a scary movie for like Comic-Con.
Yeah. I'm thinking, see, and I was thinking like if you got, you know what? We have to contact, is it the Reitmans? Who does all the parody? You know what? I would almost go as far as to say like maybe we need to contact the Wayans because this could be a Wayans production all day. This could be a Wayans production all day because I'm thinking something along the lines of all the parody movies. Like it's not so much a National Lampoon, but it falls under scary movie, superhero movie.
Yeah, not another teen movie. That's what I'm thinking of.
See, you know what? Not okay. Yes, not another team. Because in my head, I was like, no, but that had Seth Green, and no, that Can't Hardly Wait, and not another teen movie parody. Can't Hardly Wait, pretty hard. So yes, not another teen movie, and maybe we call it, you know what, like something along the line, not another superhero movie, not another pop culture movie. But see, I was thinking like
not another Comic-Con.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could go with that. Okay, we have to start writing.
Yes,
we have to start writing, and I will probably have to like reach out and talk to some people that I know that know some people and see what we can do. And I know you got one or two contacts as well. Don't know which ones we need to use for it, but I know there's some contacts out there. I could definitely check with my cousin. She's got some stuff that's been on air on TV, and yeah, I will have to look into.
all right.
You got like a whole script.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna write a broad outline. So like we could take like 40.
That one
cards.
was superhero movie. The one with Drake Bell was superhero movie because he played like the Moth or something. I remember that one.
So we'll put together a broad outline, and then that way we can pitch it that way.
Yeah. Yep. So we will definitely have to. You know what? I got to get in touch with Jeffrey so we can go ahead because that was a whole episode of the show right there. So that's a preview of the show to come. We will have that happening very, very soon. It'll be great. And you know what? We will probably.
That would be fun. I miss Mystery Men.
Ben Stiller's not too old to do it. Bring him back.
Not.
Paul Rubens could use the work. Actually, half that cast is still available. If not all of that cast. Thinking about it. And now that Ben Stiller has like solid white hair, let him like, he's been the hero so long that he's become the villain. Ooh. That would be, and so now we have like a new age of superhero, and it could go Dr. Evers style where all of the former heroes have become villain, and the shoveler is number 2, and the bowler, we get Janine Garofalo back in. The bowler is, oh no, that was Bowler's daughter. Bowler's daughter she's like in charge of recruiting and training and stuff. And like the heroes took over, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So
no, even better. Ben Stiller is the villain. But
Okay.
because he turned to villain, all the other heroes kind of just gave up. They're kind of like, well, I mean,
If
What's
the yeah,
if the leader is going to turn, like, why? Like, what's the point? Because I would love to get Cal Mitchell to come back. Like, no one can find him, but turns out he's been there all along. He's just been naked, and no one's like looked at him.
that could work. That could work. Okay, so now we got 2 movies right. You know what? I'm gonna have a notebook full. So it's kind of funny because I keep my composition book right here at the desk whenever we sit down to do a show, so I can jot my notes and put my info in right there. So I gotta put these ideas down because you know what? Oh man, I gotta copyright those ideas because we just put this on the show.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did. All right, let's get to work.
We gotta bust a move now then. Okay, cool. Ty, it's been a pleasure as always, man. I love having you on the show. I'm so glad that you were here. Next week, I think next week is a 6-day for me, but hopefully don't have any issues come Wednesday. I should have all of the shows and movies watched by then. What were they?
Yeah, because we'll have She-Hulk episode 1 to cover.
Yep.
Did you guys cover Sandman yet?
Not in its entirety.
Okay.
We touched on it here, touched on it there, but it's been out long enough. Everybody should have seen it. We can deep dive Sandman now.
I got
ready.
One more episode and I'm done and I'm ready.
Yes. So next Wednesday will be the 24th. So yeah, we'll have She-Hulk. I feel like there's another movie that will have come out. I have to look at my release dates. Don't I have IGN open somewhere? I feel like I almost always have IGN open. Nope. House of Dragons.
Oh, on HBO. Yeah.
That's a thing. Yep. House of Dragons.
Dragon Ball superhero.
Right. That will have come out. I think I'm going to see that next weekend though. So I don't think I will have seen that by that time. But that's a standalone, so I mean that could still probably get covered. Yeah. So next week should have some goodies. Next week's episode should definitely have some goodies. And I just, you know what? I need who has a geek calendar? That's the only thing I miss about my my Game Informer subscription was you could flip to the calendar and it would show you everything in that month. We should, you know what? That would be something I would put on my website for Growing Geeks. Geek calendar. I'm telling you, man, once it's a full LLC or S Corp and we have full production, I got so many ideas. So much stuff is going to happen. All I got to do is hit the lottery and I'm going to just hire everybody. Quit your jobs. Come on. We're going to go do this till I run out of money.
Done.
It's that simple. So I'm going to keep playing the Powerball.
The problem is you're not going to run out of money. We're going to generate money, man.
I'm telling you, it's going to be so great. So yeah, and that's exactly my point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and Jeff's got me updated with She-Hulk, Sandman, House of Dragons. He pointed that out for me. Yeah, video calendar. But the thing is, once I can have the schedule freedom to know that we can do everything weekly and it's not a timetable thing, it's this is our job. So this is what I do this day at this time. Problem solved. Right now we're okay, so this is what we need to talk about next week. Cool. Those are the things that I can let the wife know, hey, here's the stuff I got to do this week. I've got to have this stuff done by Wednesday. Sunday, I wouldn't make any plans because we got to watch all of this.
Yeah.
We can set it up like that. And then, of course, if I know in advance, here are the 5 things I have to watch, I can let her pick which one she wants to be involved with, and I get the other ones watched in my own time, and it works out well. So, and then some stuff she's like, yeah, okay, I'll get to that. I'll check it out. That's why I didn't watch Day Shift.
There's a timeline.
Right. See, it's like that's why I watched Day Shift, because she wanted to watch it. And of course, I would have had that watched to be able to have a full discussion on it. But it's cool. It's cool. She's given me a lot more freedom now that we've been doing the live shows every Wednesday. We've been fairly consistent with that. She's given me a lot of freedom to get shit caught up and watched, and I appreciate that. My wife is so wonderful for putting up with me.
She's also super blessed to have you. Let's make this a two-way street.
It is a two-way street. It is a two-way street. It's a lot of cars parked on one side, but it is a two-way street. It is a two-way street. You know, you can get through with a bike on the other side, but it's a lot of give. There is some take. But no, I'm blessed. She's blessed. We're blessed. And I'm glad that I get to do this. So she supports it fully. And I want to thank the members for being here. They have such great members who hang on and chill and hang out with us, and I appreciate it. Be sure to share the video. Like the video is fantastic. I appreciate the comments, but let other people know, especially when you chip in and you chime in and you have things to say, you know, because like Lawrence, you've got this plug in here. Make sure they know that. See the timestamp and let them know. In fact, let me find that because it has the time and I can like skip through to that part. Because I want to clip a lot of this stuff out to go on my TikTok.
Yeah, make those reels.
That's the next thing. I gotta like post these on reels and make TikToks and stuff like that. And I found that I can do these if I have software that will automatically make trailers. Okay. I have software I can like just upload the video, click create, and it will make a trailer. And if I don't like that trailer, I can delete that, click it again, and it'll find other clips and other segments. So
okay,
yeah,
I wanted to make some more interactive reels. So instead of just like, hey, here's an audiogram of the podcast, I want to do one where it's like when you get your best friend to watch Avatar: Last Airbender for the first time, and you get text like, bloodbending, what the fuck? And it just brings me joy.
I think for yours, and this is the other part about Grown A Geeks, is like the opportunity to network. I think for yours, especially for Whiskelodian, I like the idea of having your voice segments animated.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I do love about your show, and take no offenses, but one of the things I love about your show is that since it is a podcast and it is audio, and I don't have any visuals, with the exception of having seen Sean in like one or two pictures, I don't know what Sean looks like. And so I kind of created in my head what Sean must look like.
Uh-huh.
So when I saw Sean, I was like, the hell is that? Hey, Sean, that's not the co-host of this show. Who is that guy?
He does not look like he has that great of a voice.
And so it's like there's certain things that you all have said, certain segments that I picture the little cartoon doodles in my head of you all talking, and having those little segments animated. Yeah, it's fantastic. Doug's close. You know what? I typically put them I typically put them in like the Rugrats. Like the parents, all the parents, because the episode that like really got me was when they were talking about Stu and the relationship Stu has with his brother, and like the way they kind of deep dived in that. It is like, yeah, that's kind of. Now I don't picture them as the babies. Like I'm not there with it. But like in that, almost like in that art style, that's kind of what I see. And it is, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So I would picture your segments animated, and I don't know. It seems like TikTok's taking over, so I'm about to like clip the crap out of our shows throw everything on TikTok and see if we can't get to going that way. I may have to make a new TikTok just for Grown A Geeks as opposed to my personal. People don't care about me. But of course, that's always the easiest way to get started. So if you're on TikTok, follow and check a couple things out. Yeah.
One came in and hire the voice actors. We've been trying to do the voices ourselves. It's been a lot of fun. I could do Boris, the Jewish grandfather in Rugrats, and then I could do Oscar, the Russian guy from Hey Arnold. No one cares. All right, cool.
No. I'm like, no, because I'm like, that would actually work really well. Because if you're doing taking this idea along with your voice work, that works. And I mean, honestly, I think you have, there is something very appealing about your voice on the podcast.
Aww.
And I think it is the very calm demeanor and how quickly it shifts, because it always shifts when you least expect it, because there's just something about the way you say bitch. Like, I love it. And yeah, see, like I'm telling you, bro, I got so much stuff we're gonna do. Like when I get there, I'm gonna give y'all an address to say show up, and y'all are gonna get there and be amazed with what's in the building. I don't know how, but that's what's gonna happen. And you know, I'll get someone to put you on a small little 2-wing plane, you know, 2-propeller plane to get on down here quick. Save you that drive for the Carolinas. We'll just fly you down. We gonna have you flued out, Ty. That's what we gonna do. We gonna get Ty flued out.
And done.
And I'm gonna have to flew out Lawrence as well. Get y'all flued out here.
I got flued.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Gonna have y'all doing big things. It'll be hot guy summer next year. Gonna have y'all flued out.
Done and done.
So that's what we're working towards. So for everybody who's made it to this point, if you were at the 2-hour, 52-minute mark, you've been here, you've hung out this long, you might as well go ahead, click that QR code, make sure you subscribe on all platforms, hit the notification bell so you can find out when we do this again. In the meantime, be sure to look for us on Wednesdays at 9:05. That's when we run our show, Weigh In Wednesdays. Ty, is there a specific time that they can find Whiskalodian, or when is the new episode going to be available?
So new episodes are released every Tuesday. So we are having Doug and As Told by Ginger as our next episode coming out. What just released is Harriet the Spy movie with my lovely wife, who is also a librarian. And we kind of dive into the difference between the book and the movie.
Okay, now, Harriet the Spy, that was a series of books?
Yeah, it was not so much a series. It was originally just one book, and I think there was like a sequel or two.
Okay,
That's as far as I got.
I'm thinking, like, I remember Harriet the Spy was right around the same time as like Encyclopedia Brown, and you know, not quite the Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew, but it was in that same vein. It was a much better story, and I kind of liked Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah, I will say, because I remember watching the movie and I loved it. Going back, I'm like, is this a villain origin story? Like, yeah.
So I cannot wait to check out this new episode, and hopefully you all go into all of that. We'll check it out. So Tuesdays, new episodes?
Yes.
All right. So we'll check out new episodes on Tuesday for Whiskalodian, and you can find us here, Weigh In Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 9:05. I want to thank all my guests who are on tonight. I want to thank all my let's see. Well, Dave was our other admin who was on tonight. You can find him at Southdown Leatherworks just about everywhere. And of course, we're Grown A Geeks. For Ty and Sam, we're out of here, and we'll holler at you later. Peace.
Bye, guys.